Stimulate your mind, man. It's Friday. We're gonna get you high.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are weak. We are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset,
We are striving for more.
start taking iron today.
Yeah, TGIF. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Have No Sphere, right here on the Iron Realm Media YouTube channel. And it is an absolute honor and pleasure to be with you this evening, though we got fuck all going on tonight. So, Walter will be a little bit delayed. When he gets here, I have no idea. He had company show up just before we were going to kick off. So he's going to hang out there for a bit, and we'll pop on eventually, I think is the word that he used. Cami is also with us this evening, but she will be a little bit late. She should be running along just momentarily, I believe. She just had a few things to take care of before we get started. So until then, it's just me and this gentleman right here to my other side here. You might recognize him from his little channel here on the YouTubes called Good Times for All. We all know him as Mr. Zachary Zabala. Zack, how you doing tonight?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Good.
Got a little bit of stuff done. Got a little micro nap in. Maybe like a little half hour. Rest my eyes. So feeling good.
Sweet.
How'd your day off go? You did not work today, Josh. That's
I didn't.
unusual. You got to hang out we were on till what? It was after 9.
Yeah, it's like 9:30, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to be able to just relax and not have to do anything. To be able to hang out for the after show and not run off like I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Got me a nap in. That's about it. Went to the grocery store and the vape shop. But other than that, nap was the biggest highlight of my day.
I think naps are good. I like naps. One of my favorite things to do, I must say. You know, every person that I've seen interviewed, over 100, they'll always ask, so what's your secret? You know, that's one of the things. What's one of those things you do? You gotta, every single one of them. Maybe a couple didn't, but most of them, they're all like, I take a lot of naps. So yeah, I heard that, I don't know, in my early 30s, and I started taking naps every day I could. I love me a good nap. So I am all the way back to February.
Oh, good. I started last week. I don't think I'd have remembered. I think Nemo was the one that reminded me. I think it was Nemo or Liz. Somebody reminded me that was the plan for last week, was that we were going to go over Old Space Lettuce. So I got started and read through a few of the headlines. I think I made it back to the beginning of the year. So you need not go back much further, because I think everything else I've read, you might even be into some of the headlines that I did already read, but I don't know.
Alrighty. Oh. Stretch. I need to turn a little bit of light on. It's all dark in here. Yeah, the 4th. How'd your 4th go?
It was quiet, surprisingly quiet around here. I figured for an election year, it had gotten a little stupid. I mean, it may get stupid tonight. Having the 4th on a Thursday kind of throw things off a little bit. And my cheap ass, even as a child, would know that Friday is the day you go to get fireworks if your 4th of July is on a Thursday. You go the next day, you got all weekend to shoot fireworks off, and you're going to go the next day anyway to get them at half price. So you can get
the signs are already up.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a sign when we went and stopped by the grocery store today. Check out our new low prices. Yada, yada, yada. This and that. They're all, buy one, get one free. Blah, blah, blah. And new low prices. Blah, blah, blah.
Like Halloween candy and 4th of July fireworks. That's right. November 1st and July 5th are the best days for holidays.
Get all those deals.
But it was
they don't want to
surprising.
carry it. They got to take it somewhere usually. Most of those places.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they have to carry, cheaper it is to transport all that stuff.
And hope that it survives another year till next year.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get too wet and the wicks are all bunk.
Paper.
Yep.
Cardboard. That's all it is. Some gunpowder, a little bit of phosphorus,
magnesium,
some wicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There you go. That's, when I worked at that firework factory and we got cases of boxes of the big bottle rockets, like the bottle rockets that are like, the tube is like that round and it comes on like a 1/4-inch round stick that's like 3 feet long. Not your little bottle rocket you put in the Coke bottle. No.
Coke bottle, pussy.
What's going on there, Walter?
Hey, what's up? I finally got it working now.
Good.
Yeah, we took apart 1,000 of those things, when we were trying to put them all back together. We found out that a toilet paper tube, it's all about weight, because we were using PVC pipe and all this stuff. And we put like 4 thrusters on it, thinking it's going to go, like taking off. No, with that PVC pipe and other stuff packed in there, it would just hover along the ground a little bit, like 3 feet along the ground, and then explode right next to you. So yeah, we learned. You go lighter, stuff like that. But man, good times. But yeah, it's like nothing. It's a bunch of powder wrapped in like tissue paper, jammed in there. Like all those little things that go flying off in different directions and start sparkling. Those are just wicks. That's a bunch of wicks with a little band on it. That's it. And the wicks all catch on fire and they just go and fly all off in different directions. Yeah, it's crazy when you start taking that stuff apart, how easy it is to actually make this stuff on your own.
Even those little snapping pops, I was amazed at how nothing there was as a kid. Mm-hmm. Just because I'd snap them in my fingers and then just ball them up and break them apart in my fingers, and it's just like nothing. Little pieces of gravel, maybe some little bit of
gravel,
touch of black powder, and some tissue paper, all packed in sawdust.
Hours and hours of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I got in so much trouble with those things.
They make some that are for grown-ups, right?
Are they bigger?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, man. We need to go to the firework place, Cami. I was telling them we had the sales today already.
Yeah, the sales today, because I just saw the news. Did you look on our local news? Anderson, I think that's pretty close. Isn't Anderson pretty close?
Not sure.
Anyway, I think it was Anderson that somebody decided to light a large firework on his head on a neighborhood party, and he's not with us anymore.
Yeah, that's a bad idea
That's a
right
bad idea. His family and friends and the neighbors were trying to talk him out of it, but we're not successful.
I mean, you tackle him at that point.
You do something. You do
You
something.
say, let me guess, there was alcohol involved, maybe?
They said it was a huge block party.
Yeah, imagine that. You don't see any stoners going off and doing stupid shit like that. You got to be drunk to do that.
Is that tequila or moonshine?
That's, I don't know, either or. Pew.
Josh,
Oh.
Josh, are you shocked?
Am I shocked? A little bit. I mean, of all the things to do in front of kids.
Yeah, that's not a good one. Well, good evening, everybody. I was late doing family stuff. Here I am.
I was later than you, though. Hey, Cami, I hardly ever get to see you in the morning. So, hi this afternoon, evening.
Hi, because what you guys call morning, I call night.
Oh, I understand. That's how it used to be for Walt. Actually, that was prime time. It was 3 in the morning. Shit. 4, kicking. 5, yeah, it's time to start winding down. 6, it's bedtime.
I
Yeah.
think I tried it with you like the one time or something like that, and it's like, oh,
Right.
right.
Yeah, it's a tough one to stay up for. I tried that a few times early in, and like, yeah, no, staying up for it don't work. Not if you want to be somebody that's like talkative or aware of conversation or, functional.
I'm coming out of
I'm
it.
usually way into the bowls by then.
Yeah. So staying up for it is the only hope, though, because like the waking up from a dead sleep and getting on and talking on the radio, I mean, like, there's no way.
Look, I started out getting up at 1 o'clock for the 4 o'clock show because it would take me 3 hours to wake up. Then I moved to 2 o'clock. Now I'm doing it from 3. Sometimes when that 3 goes off, I go, fuck that, and reset it for 3:30. Those are usually rough mornings when I do that.
I would be doing it constantly all of the time, and
Always, right. I see what you're doing. Well, yeah, of course it goes up if you squeeze it harder, Zack.
oh, damn it. I thought I was going to do a hand bubbler, but this one's empty. I was trying to out-toy him.
Yeah, he was a redhead. Dude's got all his toys at hand.
I take it he's been showing the big toy that like I whined and really wanted, but how cool is it? How very, 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 very cool is it? We are talking about the Rubens tube.
No, we're
For people
This
just
is your hand bubbler.
Oh, there's the hand bubble. It was. I have the box. He's got all the
And
toys in
you
it.
can keep it.
It's right.
I can keep the box.
You'll get all the kitties. Kitties will love
All
you,
for you.
Kim.
I got new magnet ones.
Magnet paddles, right?
Ooh, magnet, and that's what they are, magnet paddles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember. I've had like any version of some kind of magnetic toy. I had it growing up, without a doubt. And you couldn't walk by a machine that had the Scotty dogs in it and I'm not throw a fit for a quarter. Growing up, like, yeah, oh yeah, I will have those dogs. And it may take me $3 to get them, but I will have those dogs.
That's
Either
right.
the dogs or the little pyramid puzzle. Cami knows. Cami knows.
I know about the little pyramid puzzle. And did you know about the walking camels? Or
The camels. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
walking camels were really, really okay. Yeah,
Yeah. They used to have cool shit in the gumball machines.
yeah.
Now you get a slappy hand or some dumb little
No, the string that made
bouncy ball.
yeah. We're talking. Yeah. Though I think that bouncy balls are always good.
They're good, but you know,
Bouncy balls are way good.
you want them in like a different situation though.
We were
It's just like, I can't even imagine what kids get in Cracker Jacks now. What is it? Like a card with like a scanner code on it.
Oh, wait a minute. I have not checked that. I remember liking the tattoos.
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, y'all, the stuff you could get out of Cracker Jacks rivaled shit that fucking Maxwell Smart was getting in the fucking hallway, dude. There was little, like,
Oh yeah.
dioramas with tab A and the tabs, and it was like fucking, you almost needed tweezers to put that little shit together. I mean, if you got it right, though, it was bad looking. And, like, yeah, just crazy. Little books, you almost had to have magnifying glass. The tattoos, though, you just lick that, and you do it first, and then lick it, and do it your buddy, and then lick it, and do your sister, and then lick it. By the end, Paul got like the faded, funky version.
Yeah, the only tattoos I've ever gotten, but I did like the Cracker Jacks tattoo version. Though that's not true. I did do the one evening where we did like the murder mystery thing. You know, where you have a murder mystery party and solve and do that whole thing on it. And that one was funny because my character was a tattoo artist. And so I had to, and it turned out it had a pre-party that I didn't know about that was mostly the people from the police department and the sheriff's office and that. But yeah, I walked in with like green spikes and tattoo art and leather, and I didn't realize not everybody was staying for the murder mystery, and that like my character was like only one of the weird characters. Other people had business like, and but yeah, the tattoo punk artist. It's weird because looking like that, I can tell you that walking into a party, people treat you. You don't think about it, but doing something like that, walking into a party where they don't know you, is how differently you get treated, and you don't. Because you're not looking at a mirror, you don't realize why.
It shows you that people are superficial as fuck.
It shows you exactly how superficial as fuck they are, because sit there and forget you're not looking at a mirror. You go and you try to talk to people, or you're talking to, you know, God forbid, a guy or that, and all of a sudden people are looking at you angry, and it's like, what? What are you? What's up with this? Ooh, we have the tube. We have the tube. We have holes. This is
not showing me what I'm seeing.
You're blurry. Do you have your background crap on for your camera?
I think it's because it's so humid out here.
It could just be the. See how I'm kind of
maybe
blurry?
you wipe off the lens and see.
Yeah, that's what I did, but it's still blurry.
It may be the internal actual camera like lens itself. You know what I mean? Behind the glass where the actual camera lens is. That might be where it's actually buzzing up. I would say like get a hairdryer after it maybe, but I don't know if that's a good idea either. It might fuck up the sensor, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Walter, you're looking sweaty. Josh, you're looking cool and collected. Maybe it's your background.
No. Here's what happened. My plan was Michelle usually gets off really early on Friday, which has allowed me to go to the gym and go do the whole like, swimming and get a nice shower and come home, and it's still cool in the daytime, in the morning time. But just like yesterday being off, and then things happened. She's having to write the obituary for her ex-mother-in-law, so we're dealing with all that. So she had to go and stay lots longer today. So my plan was to go to bed like early after I got through this morning with the condolences and getting everybody calmed down. Man, it keeps focusing and unfocusing though. Are you sure you don't have your background thing on, Zack? I'm sorry, I just got distracted.
I can't find it. No, I'm having trouble even finding the background blurry. That's what it is.
Yeah,
but it's not in my.
And it sees your skin, it acts right. But anything else, it's like, what's that? Yeah. Whoa, shit, what's that? No, stop. What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
It's got to be somewhere next to that camera image. I mean, that camera symbol. It would see. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so that was the plan. So I got through with everything, and I probably laid down at about like 9-ish, planning on getting up when she was going to get home about 1-ish and go do the gym thing. Then Bender lost his mind. Like he's never done the stuff he did today. I don't know, maybe it was I got him some kind of new new version of the canned food I've been giving them that just came out, and I don't know if they put crack in it or what, but dude, him and Cleo were like zooming, like almost going to the ceiling after they ate. And then he calmed down, everything was good, but when I laid down to get my little nap in, he started in on like meow, meow, like in my ear, clawing at my edge of my ear, of my face. I'm like, Bender, dude. And he did that for 2 hours till I finally just got up because he wasn't going to let me sleep. So that put Michelle and then Michelle had problems with her whole obituary, making everybody happy, how family gets. And so it put her getting here about 4 o'clock. So I had a hot day, no nap, went to the gym at 4. I would go do a quick swim and stretch and release my tensions into the water. I go into the building, clock in on their little phone scanner deal, get to the corner of the gym door, the pool aquatics door area. Somebody started yelling at me down the hall, "We're closed." I'm like, "What do you mean you're closed? I'm in here, clocked in and going to the pool, and I'm booked till 4:45, Well, it shouldn't be. I don't know what's going on. We closed at 4. And it's like, well, maybe that was something you should have told your, people that were trying to come here, to the normal 7 o'clock time. Well, it's posted on the desk.
That's a great spot for it.
And that's what I thought to myself. Yeah, so I haven't been here in a week. Thanks. They send me texts for crap. Somebody's doing a class that costs extra $50. They give me a text for that. Or Happy Father's Day. I got that text. That was nice. But no text saying, yeah, we're closed today at 4. So, yeah, I got out in the heat. I'm all sweaty and haven't had my shower. So, yes, Cami, I'm gross. Thank you. I'm fucking with you. It's hot here anyway. Even if you get a shower, you're sweating within 5 minutes. It's one of those things where you sweat going in the shower. You're sweating in the shower. You get out and immediately sweating again. It never stops.
I am, I don't know, so hot and sweaty in that. And from being outside, I just decided that I wanted to roll with it. It felt wrong being inside. So I'm outside on the sunroom where it is currently 90-something degrees.
Yeah. So, I don't have to tell you.
I am dripping.
Humid.
I brought a laptop and been out here to do the show in sweaty glory just because it just feels hot and sweaty.
That's what I said. That's what I did. I'm like, here I am. Love me. Here I am. Love me.
About 30 degrees then for those people that.
Oh, yeah. For you guys who
system.
do real numbers.
Yeah.
90. It's 90 even now. It has cooled down. It has cooled down to 90. And it has really cooled down to 90 because it was 95 a little bit ago.
So I think that's 29.7 or something like that.
And I'm liking it, actually. I don't want to be inside in the air conditioning. That felt wrong. And especially after being hot and sweaty and outside, then going in and it's like, if you're going to be hot and sweaty, you might as well just be hot and sweaty.
Go with it. Solid. Get all that good stuff out. Yep.
You'll be all right, Liz. Come September, it's a lot.
Oh, no. She's going to melt. Y'all hadn't figured that out yet?
Liz. So, yeah, as we're scaring you, yeah, this is July, the hottest month in Spartanburg. January, the coldest. September, the driest.
Dog days. They call them that for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Average temperature, you guys can take this into Celsius, but when you're coming, Liz, the average temperature is between 78 and maybe up to 82. And the night times are around 60. So you're coming the beautiful time of year. And that is our least rainy month of the year.
Speaking of Flattoberfest, is it all right if I play a little promo video here, Josh?
Oh, yes.
Would you? That'd be awesome.
Well, let me do that then.
Go over and see if I can find the chat. I'm going to turn me off camera here, so when I turn it, it's not retarded.
All right.
Promo video, won't you?
Here we go. Oh, I didn't hit good sound. I know I didn't. There we go. And I want to pick the right monitor too. There we go.
I'm on the airship. I'm taking up a life in the boundary. Powered up by some kind of free energy. Auto, false flag of the Hindenburg. I'm on the airship. I'm mapping out the coastline of the earth. Twisting through the cloud, it's an elephant. The bird's I'm on the airship. I'm getting with the bottom with development. Over the castles of Tartaria. Into the palm trees of Antarctica. I'm on the airship. I'm mapping out the coastline of the earth. Soaring through the skies in Anatolia. Birds Ladies and gentlemen, we are not looking at space. Yes, we do exist.
Very cool.
So nice. Thank you, Lowry, for putting that in the chat to play. I think that's where you picked it up because I was looking at that. Zach and I
Awesome.
passed the music camp not once but twice today.
I've got a bone.
What'd I do?
What did you do? You drove by the music camp not once but twice. Twice today.
I did.
I've got a bone to pick, and I don't blame Lowry. I don't think this is his fault. I think the blame falls squarely on Karen B's shoulders. I don't know who else should accept responsibility for this other than her. If your master of ceremonies is Rick Hummer, why in the hell would you not use MC Hummer as his title? I don't get it. Can't touch this.
Lowry's fault is right. I think we should bring, because Lowry, you're supposed to bring that hip to us, or Karen's pretty hip in that, but that's a good point.
Chief
Talk.
Crow. 'Cause, 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 ' Very cool guy. Just got to say it. You know, I've met him a few times now. But in Vegas, you kind of, you know, after you hang out with somebody a few times, you kind of, you know, and we had kind of some time alone, me, him, and Cami, and we just walked around the
rooftops.
The rooftops, the casino, all over the place. It was fun. Just chatting about crazy shit. Yeah, very cool guy.
Some of our best times at different things, and this venue is going to offer great opportunities for it, is again the mingling around with the different people, and you know, again, the side chats and the conversations that take place. And we've had some weird ones. We did it at the rooftop there, but we also in Denver, didn't we crawl on the roof at the place?
Goosetown Tavern with ODD.
Goosetown Tavern with ODD, and that we climbed up at the roof and had like a really fabulous, again, rooftop discussion. I don't know what it is with that. We'll have to work on what roofs we can climb out at the new venue, but they have the still ones. It's a high one on the main one, but yeah, we can find places. We can find nicks and crannies.
Yeah, I'm not going up there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
So I was noticing some of the deets there in the video, and just wondering, like, so if I identify as a 11-year-old gymnast from Russia, do I get in free?
To come.
I get to come in free though. I saw under 12.
Under 12.
Not only that, but you get in on a real hell of a fucking class action lawsuit.
Right.
Those 11-year-old gymnasts, man, they're targets.
Yeah, I haven't heard yet, but it'd be awesome if Lowry and Crumb were playing with Chief Crow again. Because those three together, it was so cool. I got to spend the day before watching them kind of rehearse and practice. And I had never got to see that before, like actual musicians, you know, learning the songs together and stuff. And it was so cool because Lowry just knew exactly what he was saying. Oh, okay, do it, and then slow it down a little bit right there. Got it, cool. And then you know, I was just like, wow, that sounded amazing. You know, it sounded amazing the first time. But yeah, it was so awesome seeing actual musicians, you know, hanging out and learning a new song together.
Well, we have them in the chat right now. Lowry, do you want to confirm that you're bringing your happy bet here? Because you better be bringing your happy bet here, because even though I don't know how close the closest bowling alley is, there is a skating rink, like damn near across the street from the venue, and skating also proves flat Earth. Lowry and I have had multiple discussions on how.
Hey, not for nothing. If you're in an area where you're available to chat, you're welcome to hop in the show as well right now, Lowry. It's not hard to make that happen, my friend.
Lowry, pop your happy bet in here. But yeah, Lowry and I have the intellectual discussions on, if you think about it, in golf, and these are big things too. But if you think about bowling and reaching back and throwing that ball with the oil and everything going, and when you put in a spinning, rotating earth and that, it falls apart. More so with golf, but we were bowling at the time and decided, yeah, bowling is flat earth proof. Riding a unicycle even is flat earth proof, because Zack, who's lived in the same household with me now for how many years, knows I have
5, I think.
5 years.
Coming up.
You know, how much grace do I have in coordination? How graceful am I?
You have your moments.
I have my moments. If we were really on a spinning, rotating water ball, you've seen me ride a unicycle, right? Yes, you have.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to do that if we were spinning? I think not. I think it's already
no way.
Already for somebody like me, and you add a spinning thing into it, it's just.
Yeah. Does Liz roller
So,
skate?
Cami, have you seen? Oops, sorry, go.
I was just asking if Liz roller skated. I'd love to go roller skate.
That would be epic. Have you seen the guy riding the 7-foot unicycle on YouTube? Young guy.
I've seen
think he's
people do it multiple times, and I've gotten on a giraffe one, but it's been a lot of years. I did
This dude's pretty nuts with it. It's kind of his thing, or whatever.
That would
I'll
be
send you a
crazy.
link. Give me a sec.
They've been around forever and ever on the giraffe ones. I mean, they've been doing those long ones for a while. I did one time, like something or other with one where they had somebody spot me onto it in a few steps and get off, but it wasn't, I wasn't mine. It was at something or other, and they're like, "Oh, you ride a unicycle too?" But I'm kind of scared of heights. I prefer my unicycle being lowered to the ground. I really do.
Yeah, I don't like your unicycle. It's still a little high for me off the ground. Like the one I learned on was this little one that had 2 roller skate wheels in the front that if you tilted forward, you could catch yourself on it. And it had just this little nice seat on it with the little handle, but you were like sitting down almost.
That's not how you have to hold. That's the whole thing of the unicycle is you do everything through core balance. Again, when it feels right, and it feels so good. But yeah, I love the unicycles. I have been riding one probably since age 9. And like roller skates or that, I just enjoy it. No awards, nothing fancy, nothing, but just fun.
Sometimes when I walk, I don't pick my feet up enough and I trip over the ground.
I've done that.
The flat earth trips me up.
Liz, are you going to watch Liz, are you going to ride a unicycle? Do you want to learn how to ride a unicycle, Liz? She's going to watch us roller skating.
Oh, no, I don't want anybody watching me skate. I lost it. I don't have it like I used to.
Well, I don't either, but we're still going around in circles and
it's fun.
So it's fun. It's kind of like feeling weightless. I do not do any of the moves from the 70s or the 80s. I definitely think showing off at my age would be a hospital ending. I think I would wind up in the hospital. I don't think it would be very wise to try the jumps and that, but I do. I mean, it's fun just to feel like you're flying a little bit and weightless and flying in circles. And I know that we used to go for double sessions, 4 or 5 hours at a time, and it was never long enough, and it was never time to leave. And now I know that we do a 2-hour session that we usually show up 15 minutes to a half hour late to slowly buckle on our skates, and then it's like, is it almost time? When are they? Is
it time for the numbers game yet?
Is it time for the numbers game yet? And then the numbers game. Once the numbers game is over with, you can take off your skates anyway, because
that's really why I haven't been back, because I won the numbers game last time and I'm wearing a crown and I don't want to lose it.
And you don't want to lose it. And I've already won the numbers game too, but yeah, we'll have to go back. The numbers game, for everybody wanting to know, and we're boring you tonight for the flat earth, but the numbers game is a skill game for roller skaters that are geriatric or children, and what did they say? The old people were left out on the rink.
All that's left out there are a couple old guys.
Old hysterical. It was hysterical with the children.
Some old guy in a white beard is our winner.
Yeah,
that's great.
It was hysterical. It's like the 8-year-olds and the things. The old geezers were on the numbers game. The numbers game are great when they stop the music. You have to stop at a number. They have numbers going around the rink.
6 numbers, 1 die, big die, real big.
They roll a giant fuzzy dice. And if they land on your spot, you either win or you have to leave. They start with eliminating people on the spots, or even on both sides. Remember that. But yeah, there's no skill involved. It's just what spot
Is there a rooster and a big number grid involved in this?
No,
not complicated at all. Just a fuzzy.
No, it's just like 1, 2, 3 down one side of the roller rink, and then 4, 5, 6 down the other.
Signs on the ceiling, hanging down. You stop under the number. I mean, that is a big deal when you're pushing my age to come to a stop.
Without the wall.
Without the wall or without anything there, and don't tip over. So yeah, you do have to come to a stop under the number, and I call that my skill set for the night, but things have changed. I think going back in time, I'm turning 60 this month, and I think I'm about to where I was when I was 6. I truly believe that is where I am, because I was a good little 6. You see the little 6-year-olds out there. I had skates tied to my feet at age 6. I'd been doing it already for years, so I might be back to my skill level at 6, but that's all right. It's fun. It was fun playing at 6, and it's fun playing now. And somewhere between on the years, I put some dancing and some jumps and some backwards and flips and that in there. But I tried even flipping her a bit around backwards, and it's just not the same. It's getting old fights.
So how far back do you guys want to go? I'm in, let's see. I'm in March 31st. You want me to start there?
Are we time traveling? What's happening here?
I don't know.
Somebody tell me to ready for chronological. No, fuck. I know what we're doing. Go.
What are we doing?
Gotta get back in time.
Bam, bam, bam. Gotta get back in time. Okay, let's see. I'm going to share this. This is a good one. I don't know. This has to be a you, Walter. So the moon is getting plants in just a few years.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The NASA Leaf Project. So we haven't been to the moon since the 70s. Right? In just a few years, we're going to be on there planting leaves. It's going to look like this one day. Wow.
Did you see the picture, Zach? There was a picture right in front of your face.
Trees on the moon now. That looks like Endor, dude. Look at that. Man, I want to go to the moon.
That's no moon.
China attempted moon plants first. Yeah.
I feel as if a million souls cried out in laughter at once.
And then an advertisement for HBO. Imagine that. This looks like it's for movie advertisements. I'm seeing all kinds of Netflix, It, yada, yada, yada.
There's a strong disturbance in the farce.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, it takes you all the way back up. We're going to have to start at the bottom.
Starting with this morning.
Earth's core has slowed down so much it's moving backwards. They have confirmed it, folks. Scientists confirm.
I mean, come on. You know, guys, sometimes you're driving down the road and there's that lady in front of you. She's a little older and you go, damn, she's going so slow. Is she about to back up? There you go. That's what happened.
Yep, that's what I do. Before I stop, I go backwards.
Don't you love this when you see scientists confirm and then the word could after it? This word is one of their favorite words. Could. Can. Might. They love them. So here's the slowing of the Earth's inner core. Which one are we talking about? So we have our inner core right here. Now, isn't there an innermost inner core? This is out of date. What have these people been doing?
Damn fools.
So this is slowing down. The part that makes the magnet, right?
Okay. I watched a guy put neodymium magnets under his big solar death ray. You want to guess what happened to the magnetism?
I bet it died.
It died.
Is a solid metal ball that rotates independently of our spinning. Oh my goodness.
Like Phantasm. Wasn't that the one with the solid metal ball that would fly around killing people?
It was indeed. It was indeed.
And they use words like discovery. I mean, and since it's been made up by Danish seismologist Inga Lehmann in 1936.
Do they at least use quotations when they use the word discovery?
No,
Or maybe like a little winky face emoji? Something like that? Crying, laughing face?
here's where they tell you the truth. Part of the trouble is that Earth's deep interior is impossible to observe or sample directly.
Not to be rude.
Then
but
how do you know anything about it?
how many paragraphs down is that? Is that about the fifth paragraph into the story? Not even, huh?
No,
Wow, good for
they
them.
did pretty good. Third paragraph. Gleaned information about the inner core's motion by examining how waves from large earthquakes that ping this area behave. Goodness.
See, what happened was he printed it all out and used it as a pillow. And through the miraculous operation of osmosis, old boy learned all the info he needed to. He gleaned all the information he could directly from the stack of papers.
Some experts cautioned that more data was needed to bolster this conclusion. And now another team of scientists. Oh my goodness.
I love how they use the word conclusion instead of claim.
Oh, and this research publish confirms the core slowdown, it says. How? On remember, right up here where they said impossible to observe or sample directly. They can't even observe it. So how do they know?
Well, the days are obviously getting longer because isn't that what would happen if the inner core would start to slow down? Wouldn't everything then correspondingly start to slow down with it? Or am I wrong on how that works?
Well, right here, they go on to say, in terms of that effect in a person's lifetime, okay, so this is going to take bajillions and bajillions of years, probably. Let's see. I can't imagine it means much, he says.
Well, you should have started your article with that sentence. I can't imagine this
We
means
could've
much, but
saved a whole lot of fucking time. Oh my God.
Yeah, let's see what some of the people said. CNN user, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, but this is
CNN
still
user?
largely conjecture. Yeah, user.
Oh, you're reading comments. Okay.
Yeah,
I
comment.
thought that was in the article. I'm like, oh my God. We can't find a scientist to lie enough, so we're just going straight to the public.
Yeah, I love this right here. Any report that used terms like hypothetical, presumed, and theory rather than fact is merely trying to raise dollars for their pet research project.
Okay, so take an egg, set it on the table, an unboiled fresh egg, hopefully room temperature.
is it
Spin it
fertilized or are
on the
you just
table.
trying to create another pet project?
And then stop it. Right. And then let go and see what happens. Oh, it doesn't fucking go backwards.
This one was pretty cool. Ants perform life-saving operations.
Right? Right?
Oh,
Ants
only
are
other
like the
animals.
rulers of this world, dude.
Florida ants perform amputations and clean wounds to prevent the spread of infection, scientists discover. Is that what they're doing? Because I've seen, like, is that what the, what's that one with the, it's got the weird claw? Praying mantis. Is the female just cleaning the male's head?
Right. When it's,
She rips it off and eats
she
it.
takes it off. Right.
Florida carpenter ants. Okay. See, I find it hard to, I'm not saying it's not true, but I just don't believe anything in these scientific journals anymore. I used to love this shit.
I used to live for it, and it's changed now. Now you look at it through reality eyes, and it's almost like comedy reading.
That being said, I used to have quite a few VHS compilations of video documentation of the nuts, insane shit that fucking ants have done in this world and continue to do. And it makes no fucking sense, other than they really are the ones who rule this place. They can make fucking, like, the underground area be perfectly air conditioned, even if it's 100+ degrees outside. They can fucking create freaking areas of their stuff that have specific temperatures inside these.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be
nets.
so they can. Yeah,
Right, it's fucking nuts, dude. And then the fucking different specialization of shit, like, yeah, sowing ants and fucking the ones that take the leaves apart and carry them away, and just the shit with the tree interaction with the certain kind of bacteria that's only in the one tree, so they carry it from the tree over to their other. It's fucking nuts, the shit that goes on with ants. And these are videos, I watched the shit happen, you know, back in the day before. I don't know, it may all be not real, but I know in my yard ants do nuts shit.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And then go watch some of those castings they do of fucking ant hills and how complex they fucking get.
How do I easiest get Lowry a link to join in? He's got stuff to say on this.
I was hoping
So
you
if I-
guys might
I
have.
think we can just add him to the
I think so.
call.
I think we can add you to the call. I think we're on a Skype call, Lowry, and interacting with you. I think we'd be on a Skype call, and I think we can just add you in, and you can join in.
Deo.
Day.
Lowry. No, you were gotta be in my thing.
I don't know if he maybe didn't create an actual account when he came on, because all I can find is a live link, you know, that thing that comes up, live.sid. whatever thing. I don't actually have him either. I thought I had him too. Let me double check. Wait. Maybe. Is this him?
Yeah, when I was in my taking pictures days, I used to take
I think I
pictures
do.
of
I
all
have it.
kinds.
Oh,
of
I don't have
ant
him, but I just waved at him. I think that's him. Shit. If that is
ant
you,
hills
wait.
are amazing.
If that is you, wave back. Loud.
Can you tell what that picture is? My background?
Elaborate? Fuck yeah.
Ooh, it's starting to rain. Cool it off, please.
Oh, and that was the other thing about the weather right now. I never got to earlier when Cam pointed out my sweatiness. Dude, it is raining just enough here to make it hotter and muggier every time.
That's what it's doing right now.
Yeah.
It's like barely raining.
It's like, please rain and do some good and stop this. This is just torture.
It's coming though. I can smell it. There's rain coming, like real rain.
I am outside, and indeed there is real rain coming. I feel it. I'm going to look. He says that we dropped it into his Facebook before, so let's see on this one if I can.
There you go. So yeah, there you go. Got it.
So, are you guys doing that, or should I look around and try to do that on the other computer?
It'd probably be quicker for you to find him on Facebook than it would for me, since I don't ever go to Facebook.
Let's see if I can figure this sucker out.
I can do it pretty quick if you don't want to, Cam.
Josh is another one who can handle it, I figured, but
Yeah, I haven't still put Facebook on my computer. I don't want it. I have it on my phone for my ma to show me pictures. But that's about all I usually use Facebook for. It's starting to cool off a little bit out here, Cam.
Yeah, it is coming down. Well, it still says 90, but it certainly doesn't feel as hot as it was before. It feels like it's coming down.
There's a little breeze out front. Yeah, that next article, I know Lowry wanted to talk about this one, so I'll leave this one up, but they finally built the world's first fusion reactor. It's all done. 28 whatever. I think it might have said billion, or maybe it was like some 2.8 trillion. Something ridiculous. But they still won't start the thing up for 15 years. Right. That sounds legitimate. Is that the new thing? They're going to move away from
So that
sending
everybody
rockets
could
up?
possibly be sued or caught up in some type of class action, will not be alive any longer. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even think it's ever going to... It's not going to work. It's a fusion reactor. They're trying to say they're going to make the sun fusion, a self-sustaining system like the sun.
Who first wrote about this? Science fiction writers. You
Yeah.
know where satellites come from, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm done.
That's why I'm saying this ain't ever going to happen. This is going to the moon, in my opinion. They're never going to make a fusion reactor. We're not God. We don't know how to do stuff like that.
Nice.
Well, for one, I don't believe the sun is a fusion reactor itself. Just throwing that out there.
I 100% concur. Oh, Lowry, you're in the call, and I just got you your link. You guys are
Nice.
So
Can you hear me?
sick. I can't.
What up, Lowry?
We do hear you.
Hello, what's up, guys?
What's happening?
How you doing?
Walt, Cami, Josh.
It's right there.
Yeah, everything's good. I just don't use Skype that much because, I'm just so used to StreamYard, so I'm sort of kind of learning this. You guys, I understand it. You guys have been using this forever, so it makes a lot of sense to you. I'm just kind of walking my way through this here. I want to enter full screen. Oh, there we go. Yeah, full screen. Okay. I was going to chime in, way back in my former life, I went through a 5-year degree, a bachelor's degree in biology, and the biggest thing that they would push on a lot of people is you need to get published. You need to get published. You need to get published, which was really kind of like a way to get you to stay in school, to stay a part of that Ponzi scheme that is further indoctrination. However, I did take some good stuff out of that, which was, and I can see what they're doing now, is I learned the scientific method because I had some instructors that still cared about it. The scientific method is completely different than what we understand as science and scientism today. I think you guys are all clear on that. But that push that push towards getting published became an obsession among a lot of people because they're like, well, how am I going to keep staying in academia, or how am I going to get a job? How am I going to do this and that?
Isn't that a prerequisite to get a doctorate?
Yeah, you got to get published.
Yeah.
And approved by your peers. I'm not saying there's not good stuff that was happening out there. But I was able to, 10 years ago when all this stuff started coming up again, and I started running into a lot of people that knew, that understood that the scientific method has been stripped from what we were calling science in the mainstream now. And I still remembered that. So there was something good that came out of that experience that I had, that there is just a basic method that we go through here, which is if you want to wax biblical on it, and I don't know what the Bible verse is or whatever, but test everything. I mean, that is the scientific method, is test anything that you see, share it with somebody and see if they give you the same results, And when I saw that going away, I went ahead and finished my degree. I was like, the hell with this, man. I like playing guitar, and I'm just going to go dive into music. But I didn't forget that stuff, And so I would read these same articles as you guys did for all those years. I was a space nerd. I was a junkie for this stuff. It was part of my morning routine. Coffee, get up, read a couple, articles, keep my feet wet in that community, and then I would go, play music. It was just like a hobby. It was this is fun. That's a really fun story, and that's probably these little articles that you're talking about is what set me off into, after that Richard Hoagland thing that I went through for 2 years, that probably set me into reevaluating the articles. And then I watched a bunch of people starting to learn how to decode these articles. They're selling headlines. They know that the average, person is going to read the headline and maybe 1 or 2 sentences into it. And this is not new for anybody in here, right? But they bury the truth at the bottom, and you go through this stuff. And after you do it through month after month, year after year, you realize that the cycle of it and what the actual program of it is that it's just propaganda. It's just what it is. And actual scientific papers, they can be found, but these guys probably, they're probably already fired, or they're buried in their job and they're threatened with their job to hey, it's not really shaking up here.
But it's on some obscure website that doesn't have a bunch of advertisements for movies and Viagra and all this other shit running down the side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to think of this way, it's like we're the actual scientists that we never, we just sort of went our own way. We're like, I can't really maybe Cami, I don't know how long you were with your craft for a long time, but I walked away from it because I just couldn't understand what they were doing. I was like, this isn't important. I want to know about what is. And no, you got to get published. You got to go do this. You got to do that. No. And it goes along with these articles. And once you read them over the course of, you guys have read them, I'm sure, so many years, is that you start to see a pattern. And a lot of people started breaking down these patterns over at least the last 4 years, where you could spot, headline, couple of lines of trickle in the nice, sweet, sugary stuff. And then, like you said earlier, could. If you really wanted to nerd out to this, you could go back and highlight the words could, maybe, over the course of months, if not years, and see how many times they use that terminology. Because that's what
maybe we had Josh ring a bell every time if or could or possibly or whatever would come up in the story we read. Dude, it was you couldn't even hear the story anymore. It was a constant noise of bells.
I know, and that you guys started talking about that, and I'm like, man, you could almost do a mystery science theater 3000 thing with that, just because once you could see it, and then it's the same every time. And so, over the course of you lay this stuff on people over the course of years, it just becomes a habit. Like it happened to me. I was a junkie, man. I was a science junkie, space junkie, nerd junkie, and I couldn't
get enough of it, dude.
Couldn't get enough. I would watch Discovery Channel.
I'd watch the NASA channel, and my cousin would be like, dude, I told you, when I'm here, no NASA channel. We'd have fights over it and shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's so cool, right? And I can't impart that to the people that are sort of on the fence, or they're looking at me kind of weird, or obviously the people that are just still lost or asleep. Yeah, I can't impart that to them enough, but they don't really, I said space propaganda in public when a bunch of people were watching some space stuff on TV. I think it was at a bar somewhere or something. And they just kind of looked at me with that fluoride stare. They're like,
fluoride stare. I knew that was coming. Yep.
What is space propaganda? And I'm like, you're just looking at a car in space, dude. They just put a car in space. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And you're buying it, And everyone was just like, not sure how to respond. They couldn't put the two things together, that propaganda and space could actually exist as the same thing. And, you have all of these things working together. And for whatever reason, I guess the MK Ultra didn't quite stick to our community as much as it's sticking to other people. And that just really, you guys churned up something when you started talking about these articles. So please go on. I want you to do more, do more articles.
Well, this started
I got a lot more to say about this.
This started for us when I read.
I was going to tell him. Yeah, go tell him.
We just collecting for content for doing a 4 a.m. radio show and not knowing what the fuck we're doing. I'm just started gathering these news articles and just ones that made me laugh when I read the headlines. And I read one that talked about how they're going to start growing lettuce on the ISS, and there's going to be lettuce in space. And I thought, well, Jesus, that's hilarious. And about 6 months later, there was a headline that said, for the first time, they're going to be growing lettuce in space. And I thought, well, Jesus Christ, didn't they already grow lettuce in space? Didn't I just read this story? So this whole thing has become a space lettuce segment on our show, where we just collect all the stupid-ass headlines of nonsense that they put out for people to believe. And most of it's shit that's been just regurgitated. Every 6 or 9 months, you get the same fucking nonsense.
And I remember them growing space lettuce on the fucking Not
Skylab.
Space Lab. What was it called in the study?
Skylab.
Skylab, yeah.
Yeah. Where they did Skylab in the junior high in the 70s or whatever. I remember when they were growing that. That was part of like in the bicentennial year, like 17.
Was it with their shower water? I remember them up there showering, taking actual showers with water.
Yeah.
I mean, have you guys seen the space toilet stuff? I mean, that's the most hilarious shit.
That's the most insane, hilarious shit.
Some money just got spent to make a little video program on how you poop in space. It's like we get all these videos about what they do while their regular everyday lives up there. And all I ever wanted to know is like, where's your inventions and where's your cool stuff that you're creating other than Velcro out there in space, you know? And so
They didn't make Velcro.
they didn't even make Velcro. See, I'm still like not quite informed on it. It's just like they didn't do fucking anything. They just talk about pooping and floating around and putting shit in their hair.
Well, there's
That's all they ever do.
pooping
you know?
and pissing, and it's just really pooping and pissing in this little hole that's got a little bit of suction. And I'm pretty sure, Walt, didn't you work at a place that sold these things? You just the little hole in the wall with a tad bit of suction, and you could just go and do whatever you needed to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not a NASA invention either.
Space
That's
poop. That's a band name, Space Poop, Andrew B. Space Poop. Somebody's going to take it. I'm not going to take it, but somebody's got to take it.
George de Mestral in the 1940s while hunting in the Jura Mountains in Switzerland. He was a Swiss engineer, and he realized that the tiny hooks of the cockleburs were stuck on his pants and in his dog's fur, and wondered how they attached themselves. So they were those little curls like you see on the Velcro, and that's where he came up with the idea.
So it wasn't even NASA. So
Yeah.
even the one thing that I remembered about NASA doing didn't. They didn't do it.
Yep.
That's twisted. It's so
Tang. That's
twisted.
about all I think I got from space or from NASA. Is Tang.
Tang.
I thought that
70s.
came out of Vietnam.
Yeah, dude.
General
that was like
Foods
the breakfast Tang.
Corporation food scientist.
Dog.
It wasn't even. Yeah, it wasn't even NASA.
Nope.
It was a General Foods Corporation food scientist.
Maybe-
The irony is
That's
thick.
what I'm saying. All of it's bullshit. None of it was real.
And I thought Tang maybe was for NASA. They were like going for the space food, like the dehydrated ice cream type of thing. And I thought maybe they invented Tang for NASA. Maybe not NASA specifically doing it, but I thought it was done for the space.
Nicole says hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
Hi, Nicole.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
it's just,
hey, Nicole.
yeah, everybody says hello. Hi. Yeah, dude, it's like if you started really, like, you guys are doing it now, and like it just brought up so many memories. You know that you get that little hit whenever you scroll down Twitter, you scroll down something. That's what the space stories did for me. I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I started realizing, like, the size of the asteroid started getting compared to different things. And then here's your asteroid that's coming in here. I'm sorry, keep going. I'm gonna rant. So keep going on your article.
No, you're right though. It's the size of 44 penguins. What the fuck does that even mean?
Oh, it's so dumb.
What?
It gets
What?
dumber and dumber. I mean, it's like they're running out of headlines. They're just running out of like word spells, and I think they really have run through their entire book of word spells, and now they just have to kind of recycle stuff and turn it into a new kind of thing that looks like this. And man, don't get me started. Keep going. Sorry, you guys go.
So this was Thursday, the 27th of June. We're going backwards because it resets every time I click on an article.
This is great.
You know, we started in like, what, February, March? But yeah, that only lasted one. I was like, I'm not cycling back because there's a lot of articles in here, like hundreds probably.
That's why
Hey,
you.
So,
I'm going to step out just a minute, but be back. I'm going to check on the inside. And
all right.
All right.
The space station astronauts forced to shelter as Russian science satellite breaks into more than 100 pieces.
So,
Are they going to say that it was a Russian collusion?
well, just the interesting idea of you're in this space station in space, and they tell you to take shelter. I mean,
Yeah.
where are you going to go that's not going to affect you? Like, no matter what happens, where are you going to go that's not going to affect you? So I guess
You know what's good? You know,
go ahead.
I was going to say, first of all, if you saw the episode of when Mark interviewed the submarine guy, and he was like, look, they have hatches on each little part. So like if this thing blows up here, they have a safety thing that keeps you from other places, so that if the whole thing goes down, at least you've got a couple of compartments that still survive, right? And then it boils down for these space stories, and maybe you're getting to this. I don't want to do a spoiler alert or anything, but like they had one where he stuck his finger in the wall. Stuck his finger in the wall. And at that point in time, even though I'd already discounted space altogether, I was like, okay, they're trolling us.
You know, the picture that they used was an album cover from like 5 years before.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Absolutely was. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Sorry, keep going.
So the experts thought it was unlikely Russia shot it down with a ground-based anti-satellite missile, if there is such a thing. Come on.
I mean, there's double speak all over that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's double speak.
And this Harvard astronomer finds it hard to believe that they would use such a big satellite as a ASAT target. Because everybody knows what an ASAT target is. They don't even put parentheses and say, like, what that is.
Yeah.
But with the Russians these days, who knows? Good.
Look at that little bit, right?
Yep.
Did you read?
This is all fear porn.
So y'all remember when the wall came down and everybody got the cool little Gorbachev tattoos and their Barks root beer that year, and we were buddy with the Kremlin, and y'all remember? I'm just asking for a friend.
You know, I was young and I didn't understand exactly what a psyop was at that point in time. I basically just didn't understand it. I was still down in it, you know, and maybe now looking back on it, of course, I think all of us can understand like what this whole thing is. Anyway, did you have another point on that? Sorry.
Zack, scroll up and read how they solved the problem of keeping the astronauts safe on the ISS when told to take shelter.
So we're told to shelter in their respective spacecraft.
They just spread them out as far as they could. Everybody just spread out, and we're going to play a little Russian roulette here, so to speak. And maybe some of you die,
doesn't get hit,
but hopefully some of you live. It's pretty good.
I mean, don't they have like a oh shit like capsule just always ready to go, like, oh shit,
it's a little hole in the side of the wall, it's got a little bit of suction. Zach, we already talked about this. It's the worst.
You would need an oh shit like balloon that sucks around your body in like a millisecond if that thing gets busted, because you just get sucked right the fuck out of there. If you look at those old
so violent,
you would just be like, there's been nothing like if 10 to the negative 14th torr bullshit. You know, you would be dead before the alarm hit your ear. Before the alarm went off and it's traveled through the fake air that they have in the fake space station, hit your ear, you would already be dead. It's just dumb. It's like, hold on while I float my way through the thing and get out of here. But the alien gets sucked out into the gas, you know, the fucking vacuum, you know, but I have time to get to this new safety chamber. And it's just like, I mean, nobody ever thinks this shit through. It's like, dude, like a vacuum is fucking violent, man. I mean, like, you can pull up, you know, you guys have all seen them, but like, if anybody watches this, there's probably some video you could grab with the train car just completely smashing. It's the opposite of that in so-called space. Yeah, you know, and it happens so fast.
Instantly.
Like, you don't have a chance.
Instantly.
These guys that are on the bottom of the ocean and they fuck up and didn't seal something properly. I remember it. It's not pretty, and I wouldn't recommend looking at it. Let's just say,
don't Google it. It will fuck you up. Yep.
Yeah, let's just say there was a hole this big, and at least one or two human beings went through it. You can imagine. Use your imagination. Don't go look at it. It's just not worth it. So like this whole 10 to the negative 14 vacuum thing.
Look at that, dude.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
That's not even close to the vacuum.
That's an iron. That's not even close to negative 14 torr, 10 to the negative 14 torr, or whatever it is. That's an iron tank. Look at that.
Dang.
Just keep replaying it for a second. Look at that shit. And you know, while you're at it, Zach, you know, another real good one is that you guys have shown it before, just for future watchers of this program. Everybody on here already knows this shit, but like that speed sled at approximately 6,000 miles per hour to give you an idea of what that speed looks like. And then you have the shuttle flying at what do they say, 24,000 miles to escape gravity. And like, there's just no way that piece of shit thing that doesn't look anything near like the Black Hawk goes 25,000 miles per hour without turning into just a smudge. You know, it just like there's so much of that stuff that like a lot of people don't understand the scale of that physics, right? They think, it's 24,000 miles an hour, no big deal. They don't understand the speed of that until they see it. And when you see it, you realize no human being, number one, would survive on the front of that 6,000 mile per hour sled, much less 24,000 miles per hour. That's dumb. That's when you vaporize. That's when you turn into so-called atoms. If you just vaporize. You know, you just vaporize. You're just dead. Yeah,
the human body can't take that.
Can't. It is what it is. I mean, like
1,000-kilometer.
It's
high speed.
The rocket
train.
I think it's the rocket sled from
rocket sled. That's it.
Rocket sled. That's the one. And just watching it in full motion, they even slow it down to 50%. You still can't fucking see the thing.
No.
You put a human being on top of that thing. Sorry, your teeth are going to go straight through the back of your throat. You're going to be like an imprint, barely even recognizable. You know, you're just not going to live through that. You're made of water. It's just dumb. Space travel is so dumb. It's hilarious that they've been able to mock us this long. It just took a group of us to talk about this stuff together and get the logic together to figure this out. That's not the one. It's a 6,000 mile per hour sled. That's some of the footage from it, though, for sure. You see it coming at you from the front. Which one is it?
Here it is.
I'm watching a delay on my actual monitor, so I don't know exactly where we're at. But I mean, like, when you see this thing, you just can't. There it is. That one. Sorry, I'm way ahead of the broadcast here. Okay, so
I slowed it down to a quarter speed.
That's 6,000. Now we're at quarter speed or whatever. You can't even see the thing. I mean, you're fried potatoes if you're on top of that thing, and that's 6,000 miles per hour.
Be standing close to this thing.
No, as a matter of fact, the vacuum that would create standing next to it would suck you into there and probably, fry you from that just because it's pulling so much air.
Did it go by this way just now? Did you see that?
It's coming at you. This is I don't know, because I'm watching the monitor. I can't see real time on Skype. So can I see real time on Skype? Is there a way to do that, Cami or somebody?
Yeah, you should.
I only see you guys.
You've got.
Yeah, you should be able to
what you
pull up
see-
the main Skype.
Is it content view? Or
Yes.
Is it,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so see if that works. Anyway, anyone with their eyes in their head would look at this thing and be like, there's no way that space shuttle was traveling, or any rocket or anything was traveling at that speed. It's just like your eyes tell you all the story that you need to know. It is insane how fast 6,000 miles per hour is.
What is this see that right there? What is that? Along the side here, there's all this smoke. And is that them pausing it maybe? Because it says, like right here, it'll say half speed.
It looks like there's a digital anomaly because the smoke is rolling off. Again, I'm not seeing the content still in real time.
I see what you're saying, Zach. I don't know.
Let's see.
Getting
If
ready.
you
There's
click
the
that
bang,
right
bang,
corner of the screen that says View, Lowry, and look at content view, that's what you should see of what Zach's showing in real time. It's just the delay on YouTube.
Yeah, it doesn't show the content for me. That's okay. It's okay. The point being made is like this is a type of speed that nobody knows the scale of this kind of speed. It's 5 or 6 times faster than a bullet, maybe even more. Nobody understands what that number is. I mean, they do this on purpose. They add zeros at the end of numbers, no matter speed, distance to stars, everything else. The more zeros you add to the end of it, the more people's brains get tired and they're like, I can't deal with this. It's an old trick. It's an old spell trick. It's like
I was shown what a Google truly was in my first grade reader book. It had an image with the 1 and all those zeros all cartoonily drawn out. That's how fucking early of course, I was a little ahead in my first grade. I had already read all the C-Spot run books first day, and they had me drawing in the back of class. So
Did you ever?
I probably was shown that early on purpose.
Did you ever explore a Googleplex? That's a fun one.
That's a big one.
The number is so dumb. It's just like, okay, explain to me how you're going to apply a number that large to anything. It's really like some flunky, some douchebag flunky asshole satanic, whatever you want to call him. He's like, look, if you just add more zeros at the end, they'll never pay attention again, ever. And if we add more zeros to the end of the years that we've been around here, they just won't even look into it. They won't do anything. It's just this like really weird word spells that they do. And like again, you guys know this shit. I'm preaching to the choir. Yeah.
So here's one. Anendophasia. Scientists uncover the weird cognitive impact of life without an inner voice. That's always scared me, the idea.
That would be an NPC if you don't have an inner dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So they might
keep pushing this whole little story over. It's become space lettuce. They push these little facts about people not having the inner voice numerous times, pre-prick and now. And like it's become, almost like the space lettuce.
Yeah.
So they're definitely wanting people to understand. Yeah, your friend who doesn't have that inner voice, don't be scared. That's just a syndrome. He's not an NPC.
You think any of this has to do with all these drugs that they're pumping everybody up with? Here, take this inhibitor and this thing and that thing and this. I know my aunt was never the same after she started taking Zoloft way back in the day. She was just a different person.
Yeah, it dulls your senses. It dulls your senses at some point. I mean, I guess if you have anxiety so high, you don't have a choice. But like, what if your anxiety is actually your best tool? If you applied it to the proper path, like take that anxiety and put it on something that you're interested in, and like go after it and take a look at it and see if it interests you or whatever, like, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I'm just a student in this game. Yeah.
So they task switching between different cognitive tasks. So they're doing these little different tests. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Did anybody else catch the news stories out this week on Abilify? Have people heard about Abilify? That's something, if you're depressed, I've heard the commercials only. It's like, if your depression medicine just isn't doing enough, you add Abilify and you add it along with your, to help uplift your mood or that. So I saw an article on it. It was basically Abilify is causing chemical lobotomies.
Well,
because that's fun.
Okay.
That makes the weekend go by quick.
There was actually, I don't remember this guy's name, and he was on Twitter today, and he's actually on some of the other platforms. He's doing some pretty good flat earth stuff and everything else. He had a NPC test. Did anyone catch this?
No, I missed it, man. If you find it, link it to us for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out for a break for a second, and I'm gonna dig around for it.
That's fine.
And then I'm gonna send a link over for that thing. I tested it. I went through it, and it was like, okay. It was like, how do you test if you're not yourself an NPC, but also other people,
just to make sure,
Yeah, so I'll be back in just a second. We're gonna find it.
Yeah, man, you can just mute up and kill your camera if you want to just easily pop back in. There you go.
Word.
You got it.
The Reckoner, Lowry.
Yeah, I know. I love that. Every time I read that, I think there was this first, not first season, it was literally the first episode, I think, of Kids in the Hall. And
Baked beans.
Your boy he came running into the office. He came running into the conference room, all the dudes are in business suits, and he's got a fucking black ski mask on, and he's dressed for fucking whatever it is, handball or what? Not handball. The one with the little racket you play indoors. What's that called? Cricket? Not cricket. No.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's a little ball game indoors. It's not the one with your hand, but you have a little
Racquetball?
paddle. Is that it? Racquetball? Yeah, that's it. Racquetball.
Little blue ball.
He comes in and he's like, "Are you Neil? Whoever? You face me next week on the racquetball, whatever local name of their club, fifth season racket, and I will defeat you because I am the Eradicator." So every time I see the Lowry's name, I think about the Eradicator. I'll have to link the video. It's fucking great. Just so like people know I wasn't just making crazy shit up. I got to show y'all the insanity of how buddy we were with Russia. So if you drink a lot of box root beer, which I did at one time, and about the 12 packs, they would send in a certain number of these box top things you see here, and they would send you a plastic box with random Russian medals and pins. These were like military, like commemorative shit from Russia. Ribbons, pictures of Gorby. We just sent it to you because we were buddies with Russia. The camel, look. There you go, Cam. The camel made it come back. Where's the tattoo? They don't have the tattoo. Oh, there it is. Oh, but that's still. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the tattoo. The Gorbachev forehead tattoo included. It was great. I still have a box somewhere. I know one of those little plastic boxes with the shit in it because I dug it out looking for some stuff not too many years ago. Yes, I have it. I have problems.
Still no tattoos. I don't think I'll ever have.
But now they're back to being the enemy, apparently.
Yeah. Gotta have an enemy, right? A boogeyman?
Absolutely. Oh, I saw that, Karen B. I see you in chat. I saw some of the stuff there in the link, including, and I thought quite interesting, aura photographs.
But not MC Hummer, which I gotta say,
but not
Karen,
MC Hummer. No.
You missed an opportunity.
What's up, Rich?
You missed a big opportunity with that MC Hummer.
Hummer time.
Can't touch this.
But yeah, so the whole thing with the aura photographs, I see the potential for lots of experiments to be done. Depending, I know when it was at some of the conventions back in the day, it was a little bit of a pricey expenditure. Is it going to be inclusive, or is it like a whole separate, like a vendor, and you pay them to do it? Probably. Carillion, yeah, that's what they had set up, and I did quite a few of them. I dug one out, but it was that day we had a fight, and it was all red, and that's what I was saying. People do some experimentations while we're there. Let's like do that. Like you wake up in a bad mood, run over there and get one done real quick, and look at your aura and see if it's different later in the day after you've chilled and got your peace going and smoked a bowl with your friend and hug some people and exchange energy. Then go do another one and see if you don't see all the nice greens and pinks and.
I'm gonna wake you up with a bucket of water, Walt.
You fucker.
And then
after
run you over
after I
there
whoop
real
your
quick.
ass, I'll go run over there and do one of them. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I love fucking with that one. And like I said, we got tight with one of them, so they let us kind of do some on the side, And that's what we were doing. Was me and her had a fight, and then we both went and did one. And dude, it was like crazy how different it was. We didn't even tell them. We were just doing like one. Here, let's do one. Yeah, and then the next day it was crazy. Oh, is that the test? Okay, Lowry just dropped the NPC test in our chat on YouTube. Thank you, sir. I will open it up. Who's going to take it first?
I don't know. Should we all just take it together and see what we get? Are we all an NPC?
I don't know. I know that, like, if I could shut up the inner voices in my head, that, like, I would. So I don't think there's any possibility.
Well, see, I saw Lee ask in
My
chat
voices
there
are
about.
overactive. What about the overactive voices?
Right.
So
I heard
there's a
Lee
lot-
asking that in chat about do you guys literally hear a tone of voice to the thoughts in your head? And it's a variety of things that go on. there in the insane asylum I call Walt.
Look, if you have like I've always said, like, if you have inner dialogue, you're alive, you know, and that's kind of like the difference between those of us who are, I don't want to separate all of us, but the degree of what we're actually talking about with ourselves. This is a really, really, don't analyze yourself if you're not understanding what he's saying, but it basically is just about imagination. Can you imagine the apple being a different color? Can you imagine manipulating it or throwing it through the air in your own mind? And it's in just listen, I don't want to give it away. Just go ahead and play it. It's pretty interesting.
Probably, you gonna do it, Josh?
I certainly can. Stand by. Or
What would probably just be better quality presentation from you, I would guess, huh, than us doing it.
I'm not sure if Watson will be there or not. Liz?
This is also not from the source. It's been filtered through several people. This one's coming through Vincent Kennedy's channel, who's a big Twitter guy, and it's and filtered through somebody else's channel. So it's not the original dude. The original dude's really awesome. He does a lot of FE stuff on TikTok, and this made it through like 3 different channels. So it'll be through Vincent Kennedy, but the actual dude, sorry, I'm not giving you any credit, but it's there. So like, have a look.
I'm going to have to take time to set this up.
Well, I can just do
I'll get it, Josh.
Can
I'm
you?
in here now.
Because once I can share it to you guys pretty easy, but then it kind of blanks it out for me to share it to them. It's a whole fucking thing with OBS.
This, we're going to move that back.
Have you guys seen this experiment where you can not only test if the people around you are NPCs?
Am I sharing?
But if
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you guys seen this experiment where you can not only test if the people around you are NPCs, but if you yourself are? Check this out. And if you don't know what an NPC is, basically in the video game world, it's someone that's not being controlled by a person, just a random computer generated thing. And in the real world, same thing. Maybe just someone that's not being controlled by a soul. So I heard this experiment on a podcast, and I thought it was kind of crazy until I tried it out myself. And it has to do with apples. And you can probably use any object, but for our purposes, we're going to stick with apples. So there are going to be multiple layers to what I'm going to ask you to imagine. And depending on how far you can imagine it, might just depend on if you're an NPC or not. So with this blank screen, I want you to picture a red apple here. Can you picture a red apple? If you can, great. So far, you're not an NPC. Next, I'd like you to think of that red apple, and in your mind, you can close your eyes if you need to, think of that apple as green. Can you change it to a green apple? Can you see a green apple without looking at it? Now stick with me. We're getting to the good parts here. If you can picture a red apple and then a green apple, great. But here's where a lot of people get stuck, and I'm taking away the image here. I want you to picture that green apple in your mind, and can you go in and can you pick up that apple? Can you manipulate it? Can you move it around? Can you, in your mind, be holding it, and then all of a sudden it turns from green to purple? Do you have the ability to do that? Because for me, I could, no problem. I could hold that, I could throw it, I could take a bite of it. Anything I wanted to do with that apple, I could do in my mind. But the shocking part was, as I was listening to this on the podcast, one person, they were stuck. They couldn't do anything but change colors. They couldn't grab it. They couldn't manipulate it. It was stuck there. One person couldn't even change colors of the apple. But I didn't believe this until I tried it on my wife. And my wife, she could change the color. She could go green and red, but she didn't have the ability to manipulate that apple. She couldn't grab that apple. She couldn't throw that apple. I'm juggling this apple. I'm doing all sorts of things with it. Hers is just a stuck image.
I just turned mine into
And
3.
I thought that was nuts.
I'm at the
Just
apple.
because I have the ability to manipulate things in my mind and control things that everybody did. But clearly that's not the case. And this leads me down the path of maybe this is why some people can't grasp the topics or the understanding of not living where we've been told we live our entire lives. Because they can't visualize it. They can't think outside the green and red apple. Now, I'm not actually saying my wife is an NPC, but I do think our brains operate differently. I do think some are more right, some are more left, some are right down the middle, and some just don't really choose to think. But try it out, guys, because I found it fascinating. And I would love to hear how you did during this little experiment. Put it in the comments, test it on the people around you, and let me know, because I want to know if I'm in the majority or if I'm in the minority. But something tells me I might be in the minority. But guys, as always, this was all for entertainment purposes. I don't really think my wife is an NPC.
So like
great.
what's interesting about it, like to me, was like I went through it and I went and juggled them, I threw them around, you know, I could change the color. You had to close your eyes to do because if you're looking at the screen, then you're seeing the screen. But if you close your eyes, you can figure out all sorts of things to do with it. Chop it up, eat it. I could taste it, right?
Watch it turn brown after it sits there for about an hour.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the whole, any of it.
But apparently, like from this feed, I think it was a Reddit feed or something, like some people couldn't get past just seeing, once they close their eyes, a red apple in their mind. They just saw the red apple. Couldn't change the color of it. I'm just saying this is an interesting story. I don't know if this is a good test, you know, for
As
you know,
far as a test, though, Laura,
Yeah,
just
go
so you
ahead,
know,
Jen.
we've talked about this test before, and we've taken this test years ago. And Bob, who can
Doesn't even
memorize,
see the apples.
he cannot make the apple red. He cannot visualize the apple. I had to set up so many visuals for him on the things. He could not. Now he could logic through things, but he could not visualize anything. I mean, he couldn't even get the red apple.
yeah. So that's why you got to be real careful with shit like
Yeah,
this.
I don't think he was anything but an NPC. He seriously thought through
Oh,
things.
absolutely. It's about processing things. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. His
Some
process,
people don't process visually.
But
Gosh, imagine if he could have processed with that
yeah,
brain.
he could have.
I was thinking that very thing.
He would have made it. He would have made an apple tower of all of immeasurable height. You know, yeah. It's like
Interestingly enough, I did the Gateway program years and years ago in the early 2000s, and the lady I was with, we were both doing it. And part of the early process is as you tune your chakras with your voice and your breath and you get to a certain state, the next thing you do is you create a container, a box, however you want to create it. It could be an old ancient box tomb, it could be a gilded ark of the covenant, it could be a future, you know, energy field container, whatever it is, you must make it in your mind, and it must be as real as you can create it, and as many details, intricately carved, or the metal it's made, all of the details of it. And it can only be opened by you, and you're the only one that can put stuff in it and take stuff out of it. And that's where you get rid of those voices, Cami, that you were asking about earlier. That's where you put the monkey voices and the lizard voices and the grandma's voices and the cares of the day, and all those things go into that box and stay there until you're ready to go deal with them again. Because while you're learning this process, you are like, you're doing crazy shit. I mean, we were going out of body. It was pretty nuts. But she struggled creating the box. She's like, well, my box seemed plain, because I was telling her about mine, you know. Again, sci-fi boy, nerd, all that. I had the future, you know, energy containment vessel, and, you know, she was just like, well, I can't make it be that. I'm like, well, it's supposed to be your thing. She was troubled by the fact that she couldn't make the box like she wanted it to be or whatever. So, yeah, I bet this test would be one she would struggle with. That's interesting. Crazy.
Yeah, I think it's like I think that's the porch step to manifestation is just actually you just have to create the idea itself in your mind. I mean, a lot of it goes with writing original music, like you generating something out of nothing based on, say, something that inspired you in the world. Most of my songs are like either like rock songs or like something that was like a girl inspired me to write something about something, and then you manifest it, and then it just becomes a thing because you're actually creating frequency out of it through your guitar. You're making words out of it through your words. And I think what he's talking about there, and I know it's different for everybody, so please don't psychoanalyze yourself based on that. That's just one way to look at it. But like, I mean, these spark comes from an original space, you know. And I'll be the first to tell you, like when this whole FE thing started, you know, I was in awe once I broke through of the people that actually could have possibly even started thinking about this subject. I was in awe. I was like, how in the actual fuck did someone just decide, you know what, I'm gonna figure out if the Earth is flat today or not, because it wasn't even remotely close to where I was, and that's how like mind bending this whole thing has been, and
That's
so
it, yeah.
and so like it's the same thing with creation or manifestation. It's like some people wouldn't even believe that I could write a song about this thing or whatever. I'm just naturally, that's what I've always done, and I like doing that. It never really was that hard for me. I come from a musical family, and it was just like, well, you got to think about something new and maybe have something inspire you. And maybe if you have a girl that did you wrong, you write a song about them, or, you have this concept in your head and you can write a song about that. And you just try to make it poetic and do good music with it, But that was always kind of an easy thing for me. Thinking about this kind of shit was mind bending, dude. And it's still mind bending almost 10 years later for me. It's like, and then you get in this NPC stuff and you're like, what are they thinking? How are they thinking? How are their minds working? If someone is genius, they might be thinking from completely out of this other way that isn't like yours. And they might drop back in the middle and supplant this huge idea that you didn't even think it that way. You're like, I never thought about it that way. So I guess my point is just don't self-diagnose off that video. That's my point.
Absolutely, man. That's what I'm saying. It's more about processing and how people do it differently. I mean, even Thunder Chicken, what's up, Lee, saying in chat, I used to be able to see numbers in my mind. I was good at mental math, which I never was, and also remembering numbers. Smartphones ruined that part of my brain. It did for everybody, brother. Made it lazy, I think, he said. Use it or lose it, I guess. When I first started working at Singular in 2002, 2001, something like that, I didn't have a cell phone. I hated cell phones. They were already becoming the biggest nuisance in the world. And I would constantly get calls from people. And they were like, yeah, I lost blah, 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 and I can't find the numbers. And I'm like, well, just remember them and put them back in your phone. They're like, well, no, I don't know what they are anymore. And I'm like, I still knew every number of everybody I dealt with on a daily basis, friends, relatives, mom, dad, whoever. I could call anybody, my uncles and other states.
Oh, you're talking
whatever.
about.
I had every number.
You're remembering numbers. You're remembering numbers. Yeah, there was a time in my life too.
Everybody would call in and they were like, yeah, I don't remember. I'm like, how do you not remember the numbers? And now I see it and I don't remember. I remember Michelle's cell phone number. That's about it. If I don't have my phone, I'm fucked,
007-373-5963.
Is that Michelle's number?
No, that's the code to Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Burned into my brain.
Forever.
Now, one of the things you're talking about, Jenny's, we did used to know all of the phone numbers. One of the things I think, and I wonder, I tie it to blood types and that and say like what we pick out, how we process, how we think. And it's definitely, Bob and I did all kinds of different experiments. We did Hemisync and, we tested different things on us and we truly, between again the synesthesia and the different and dreams, everything, our brains process differently. But I almost think that when you have a weak area in one spot, like again his visualization, so he loved it. I would mock up anything, and with marshmallows, ask Zack with marshmallows with styrofoam balls. this was Bob's like furious thing with me, and it's like I could mock it up and make him understand. He goes, but you need to find a better way to present it on YouTube because you can't show this on YouTube. You can't show you with the toothpicks and the. And it's like, well, it works. So it does work. I can get the visual through there. But I think even him lacking that piece, his analytical skills were so over the top. In other words, I think sometimes you're missing when you have a link that you can't do. Again, it's like being blind and understanding music, more or a different thing like that. It's almost he did not get the visual, but when shown the visual, he would click it in an analytical way and could think of ways to apply it that again might not come through.
Cami,
so putting the gifts together.
Yeah, you just brought up something super important that what you just talked about. I was Suzuki, not traditional music. I was Suzuki, so everything I learned about music came into my ears, and I learned it through my phalanges, and I learned how to make the sounds on each instrument and get the sounds I wanted. I can't read music. But maybe one note, like I can't do it. I can read tab.
You feel like
nothing,
retarded, but you feel it.
Yeah, it's like everyone else can read all this shit, but they can't. The people that actually, funny enough, the people that learn to read music, they play these classical pieces that are just beautiful and brilliant and everything. They can't make anything. And
that's my brother, my little brother.
They can
Suzuki, yes, exactly. Suzuki people,
They
for
can
whatever
play it
reason,
mechanically. They can play it mechanically, but not with the passion and not with the artistry and that.
and not
But
adding something new to it.
And adding something new to it, exactly. Your spin, your creative spin on it.
Well, yeah, how many people played Jimi Hendrix songs? Thousands,
Yeah.
millions have tried to, but how many people could sound like Jimmy?
Nobody.
Nobody. There was just, he put his whole self into that stuff to where you can't replicate it.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray came a little kind of close.
Well, Jimmy was special because he made us, being experienced, listen to it differently through the headphones.
But yeah, he couldn't read music at all.
He couldn't read it, but he made us
Not a lick.
experience music
Till
differently.
the day he died, he couldn't read music.
Yeah. He also used to sell his guitar after every show because he was so broke, according to the story anyway. But that's a real thing, and that applies to this conversation tonight. Is that everybody comes to their conclusion a little bit differently. There's a ton of different I hate to use this term because I love cats, but there's a million ways to skin a cat. You get to the same position through various pathways. It depends on how your brain works, and I think we can boil it down. Really, it is who's having the inner dialogue and who isn't. Who's the person? Usually you can catch them because they're usually not saying much in a room. They're usually afraid to talk about it, But everybody has a tiny little inner dialogue. I mean, apparently this community has a giant inner dialogue. But I don't think that's just enough of a reason to say they're either NBC or not. I still don't know what the bottom of this is, but I would always, if I see something weird, I ask a question, and then I look at somebody else and say, did you not see that? Why are we not asking about that? And it's usually they're just I don't know, I don't care.
I don't even get the idea that your inner dialogue isn't always talking to you. If I'm not interacting with someone else or watching something, and half the time when I am watching something or even reading something, I have a problem with that. I start having a conversation with my inner dialogue, and then I go off into La La Land, and I'll read a whole page of a book, and then I'll come to and be like, well, shit, I read it, but none of that stuck. I was having a conversation with myself.
Yeah.
That whole time.
Have you ever had this one, though? This is the one that's weird. My inner dialogue will sometimes manifest as me talking to myself. And I've had friends of mine are like, what are you doing? And I was actually interviewing myself. And I do that in real time all the time. And I actually told Nicole, I was like, look, sometimes it looks like I'm talking to myself. I'm not crazy.
Absolutely.
I'm just manifesting these thoughts, and I'm moving my lips about these thoughts that I have. And it looks like from an outsider that who's the fucking mumbling guy over there? And I want to turn around to him and I'm not I'm not some guy on the street that's lost his mind, dude. I'm perfectly fine. I'm just working it out.
I know the people out on the street are not as sane as you are with that moment. How do you know that's not what they're doing?
They might be doing something even more great than I've ever even understood. They might be solving the world's problems in a way that I don't even understand. I'm just talking in a normal social moment, and the people are looking at me talking to myself. I'm like, yes, I'm talking to myself. I do this from time to time. This is how I blow off steam. This is how I get thoughts out of my head, and sometimes my lips manifest what my thoughts are. I can't just do it alone. It's almost like my face is manifesting the thoughts that I'm having. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does it happen? It runs through you?
It goes straight through me. And it actually, you'll see my mouth move. You'll see if I'm thinking about something, I tend to my tongue goes up into my upper. It's like Michael Jordan when he used to do a slam dunk. He'd stick his tongue outside. Yeah, when I'm doing a really good guitar thing, my tongue goes this way. It's like some sort of manifestation of focus. And I do that with thoughts of these kind of the nature that we're talking about tonight. When I start thinking about those things, I'm not even thinking about what my face is doing because I'm so into my head and into my dialogue.
Yeah, my little brother one day asked me, because he was young when I got into guitar at about 21, and he was 6. And one day he was probably 7, 8, 9, something like that, when I was just starting to be able to get into it. And he asked me, what's wrong with your face? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, your face was making all these weird
guitar face.
It looked like you were in pain or something.
That's totally happened to me, dude.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't remember my face contorting at all or anything. I was just, like you said, lost. You're in the music. Yeah. I wish I could get that back again. It's just not I don't play like I used to.
Well, you're up to like
You're doing other things with that
other
passion.
things that are just as
Absolutely.
important. You know, like
Absolutely. Yep.
yeah. I mean, everybody in here knows the score. We've all found each other finally after all these years, and so we know kind of like what this is. And for me, like this is going on almost year 10. Like we all found our family, and so now we can actually talk about like the stuff that's really fun. And you don't have, what's funny? I heard this. I can't remember who said it. It was like, you know what? When flat earthers hang around with each other, they don't really talk about flat Earth anymore. They just hang out because they're like, oh yeah, I got some friends again. This is great. I was like, yeah, I think it was Crumb or somebody that said that, but it was I love to wax all this stuff and do like all the things. But it's nice to like. Crumb and I were talking about at length at one point in time. Isn't it funny to like when you crack a joke that in the flat Earth community that everyone gets it and like nobody gets
offended.
Yeah. Nobody in our old community would be able to be like, what kind of was that? But we were funny people in our former Globy worlds,
Oh yeah.
and like making the passage over to this, whatever this thing is. I and Crumb and I would spend like hours just like trying to make it funny. How do we make this fucking funny? I don't know. Because we were still learning all the stuff, relearning, whatever, Alex 2.0 is, Crumb 2.0 is, like you guys 2.0. We were just trying to figure out, okay, this has got to be funny somehow. Because if we don't make it funny, it's going to get really serious, and then people are going to get depressed, and then people are going to get pissed off, and they're going to like just give up. Sorry, I feel like I derailed your whole science thing. You want to go back to the science?
Dude, you've been having some laughs, Flower. You ain't done anything wrong, brother. I've had nothing but laughter and smiles, even though I may be muted and off camera. I've been having a blast. So yeah.
Sorry that
like you said, we found each other again. So enjoy that shit.
Yeah, man. I think here we are back together.
The chat is going off on how Zack looks like Michael Stipe of REM tonight. And I go off on how Michael Stipe of REM looks like John Malkovich to me.
Dude, when Zack walked in my house, it hit me hard. I had seen him a lot on camera, but when he walked in, I'm like, oh my God, that dude is Michael Stipe.
I could see that. Michael Stipe might be some sort of weird, like, part of our community. I don't really know. I don't trust a lot of the rock and roll community anymore, so I don't know for sure. But,
it's so hard to know who to trust in any of those worlds anymore, man. I used to love so many musicians that I thought were telling me truths, and
right.
I hate Maynard. I hate, there's so many of them I just despise now.
Michael Stipe though of REM, I don't know what to think about him because all of his music, if we started going in lyric to lyric, to me his music ahead of time almost feels like a Flat Earth Awakening ahead of time if you take it song by song. He lost his religion. You stand in a place, now look, you stand, you look around. Man on the Moon, he's explaining, his words on Man on the Moon, if we bring up the lyrics to there, are absolutely amazing.
You think it's truth in plain sight?
I think it's complete truth in plain sight, and I almost think the Man on the Moon lyric things, if we brought up, can we do that and bring up Man on the Moon lyrics?
What's the frequency, Kenneth? What's the frequency, Cami? I mean, there you go, right there.
True, yeah.
What's the frequency? What more do you need to ask? Good Lord.
But yeah, he's like, what? Here's for the never believer. Here, I almost think it's an offering saying, if you understand the song, here's an invitation to the Illuminati in a way. And here's a little Egypt for the never believer. You got it. Here's instead of St. Peter, here's a transport instead of St. Peter. Here's a way through the gates without using St. Peter. Okay. Mott the Hoople and the game.
Hold on 1 second. This is disturbing.
I can't believe how
on. And it came up, Man on the Moon.
That you remember all those lyrics just right off the top of your head. It's amazing. I remember them too, but like, what's going on here? These are... Okay,
Mott the Hoople on the Game of Life. Mott the Hoople, if you bring up Mott the Hoople albums and that, you'll see the lizards and that coming from the checkerboards and that, a little visual of Mott the Hoople and the Game of Life. They're talking about that little Game of Life making lizards. You've seen anybody else know Mott the Hoople, their music and that? Something really special.
Oh yeah, I'll pull it up.
Again, that visual alone, Mott the Hoople album covers, people should bring it up. But let's do that right now. We're not doing anything. Let's have fun with this. Mott the Hoople. Now let's do some images on album covers. Oh, come on, tell me they haven't pulled those with the lizard. they've got the. Go ahead. Here's a good one there in the middle. You'll see it going. I see one Matahupa in the middle. Go up when it's in your middle one. There is one of the ones that's good. Your middle section there, the long one that looks rectangular.
This one?
Uh-huh. Try that one and see what that is, because that's going to give you some of their replications and your lizards and that crawling around. Blow into that image and see what Matahupa is about. And it used to be that you would get the Matahupa album covers coming up and not the band players a few years ago.
$207? What is this? Oh, it's a vinyl. First UK vinyl LP.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you have Matahupa and the Game of Life. Yeah. The Game of Life, they're drawing in that. Now let's go back there. I must need my glasses on. Does this blow it up? Andy Kaufman in a wrestling match. Yeah. We're going to do Andy Kaufman and the Breakfast, Mr. Fred Breakfast and the Breakfast Mess. This is all discussing the meaning of life and the wrestling match on there. You'll take each one of these back.
Well, you also have to think about the fact that Andy Kaufman was the ultimate, like,
who they
living the lie, like living the whole lie to complete a joke. And world, like in the daily life, not just for TV or for a fucking stage. This dude would do that stuff daily. Like his life was to fuck with people and to change their reality with his lies. That's what his whole gig was. So yeah, that's why I think they put that in the song as well.
That in there too, and also he did the wrestling match. He also did the thing with Mr. Fred Glass. He did these things talking about escaping out of the grid and out of the breaking through it. There's a lot more to that with him. I have to take it back, but there was a lot more to it. Yeah. Monopoly, 21's, checkers, and chess. These are all games. Mr. Fred Blassie and the Breakfast Match, which was a movie that was all about, again, the meaning of life and calling it a game, kind of like 1984 and that. Let's play Twister. Let's play Risk. I'll see you in heaven if you make the list. Here you go. It's a game. Getting into heaven is a game. So, Handy, did you hear about this one talking about, are you locked in the pench? Are you goofing on Elvis? These are people that Elvis and Andy are people that they say offing it made it to the outer. We all know the rumors on Elvis. We all know the ones that didn't really die. Are you having fun? Hey, if you believe they put a man on the moon, if you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, then nothing is cool. Telling us our history. Again, do you believe there was? And if nothing is cool, Moses, here's the history. They're saying Moses went walking with the staff of the wood. Newton got beamed by the apple gid. This is what they're telling us. Egypt was troubled by the horrible ass. Mr. Charles Darwin had the balls to ask. So, Andy, did you hear about this one? Are you locked in the punch, this game of life? Are you goofing on Elvis? Hey, baby, are you losing touch? Going back to if you believe they put that man on the moon, if you believe there's nothing up his sleeve, that nothing is cool, and here's where you get good. Come on. Do you believe this shit? Here's a little agent. Here's a little bit of information for the never believer. Yeah. Here's a little ghost for the offering. Yeah. Here's a truck stop, which is a truck stop. If you go into the old dictionaries, that's a transport station. Here's a transport station, or a truck stop literally meant a transport station. Here's a transport station instead of St. Peter's, away through the gate. Yeah. Mr. Andy Kaufman's gone wrestling. So I think they're putting in this little Egypt for the never believers. Here's your little thing. Here's a transport. If you understand the meaning to this, to the fair of the city, to the beautiful monument, to the beautiful people, the end. But to me, it's like they're saying, hey, we found flat earth. We lost our religion. We did this. And here's a transport. Here's a way around it. Here's a way around it. Here's our way around instead of St. Peter. So R.E.M's music gets every single one of their songs when you go into it, how they lost their religion, how they relooked at the shape of the earth, how you relook at directions and do it.
Wasn't it Tolkien who wrote that the elves said they went to the land of everlasting life to the east?
Right, to the, yes.
So here's the bugger, all right? So like now that we still have these so many references to Egypt, and there's Egypt everywhere, obelisks everywhere. What the fuck with Egypt? And what was that? And why is it still in us, in our reality? We have towns in Tennessee called Memphis. We have towns in Kansas that have Egyptian references. I know this is not a popular topic with some people to listen to, but it's like, did some like traveler just roll through there? It's like, I'm just going to name it after Egypt. You know, what is the Egypt thing? What is it?
So many of those. Wasn't Valparaiso originally in Egypt?
Like if you're like a person and you're founding a town in the middle of nowhere, I mean, I know this old world stuff is like a little divisive, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it's like, how the fuck did these Egypt names get over here? Because they weren't apparently Egyptians migrating over here. I don't feel like I'm Egyptian in nature, and I don't know anyone other than it's people that have moved to, say, Kansas, where I grew up, that had any Egyptian descent.
Well, it probably shows you who founded those towns right there. It was probably some really wealthy people that had secret society ties, probably. You know, this is part of their job or whatever.
Uh-huh.
We got to put a Columbus here, a Columbus here, a Columbus here. Every state's got a Columbus.
Just like setting a flag down?
Springfield.
Set a flag down?
I wonder where Springfield came from, because there's a Springfield in a bunch of different states.
In every state,
yeah.
I don't think there's one that doesn't.
It's going to be more descriptive. That talking about a spring in a field is you're going to have place names that are like Green Hill and things, you know, like that. Springfield is literally, I think they marked like we're just south of Boiling Springs. So I think Springfield might not be what you're talking about, but we do have more than our share of, again, old named regions renamed and in specific locations, and I think done very intentionally.
So, Cami, I have a little bit of gravy for you here. Like Nicole and I went back, and the little town that I grew up in was outside of Emporia, Kansas. It was called Americus, Kansas. And it was just a small little town, 1,500 people. I spent my time hanging out in the forest, building forts, and just doing kid things, riding around on a bike. There was one building that was the Masonic building. It was a blue tin building. Nicole saw it. She spotted it before I even did, and I forgot that there even was one in the town. And I was like, we immediately stopped. And of course, we took a picture of like the symbology. And why would there be a Masonic lodge in this tiny little town of 1,400 people in the middle of Kansas, which is as far away from anything you could possibly get on this continent? And it had the Masonic, a little iron Masonic thing outside the door. And so immediately I was meeting my Aunt Julie downtown with my cousin, and we were going to have some dinner. It's this very one-horse town. And we went in there, and we were like, we just kind of brought it up to him. We're like, do you know anyone that's ever gone into that building, Julie? And because she's lived there her whole life. So she's 60 years old. And she said this. She said, no, we've never. The only time we ever go in there is when we go to vote.
Isn't that ironic?
And I was like, you don't know anyone that was part of that lodge or anyone that ever actually went in there regularly? And he was like, no, we don't know anything about that building. It's been there forever. And the only time we go in there is when we go to vote. And I was like, did you ever seen the inside of it? Well, we walked in a little bit and we voted or whatever. When she still voted, I think she's kind of past all that shit anyway. But it was like,
got to go downstairs.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, and I've seen that building since I was a kid, since I was, old enough to remember memories. That blue building was there. It had blue tin siding, and it had the Shriner thing with its symbology on it, which I didn't even think about back then because I wasn't thinking about stuff like that. But it's like, nobody knew. I asked the bartender. I asked a bunch of people that I've known have been around that town for years. They're like, we don't know anybody that runs that thing. They don't know anybody that runs the place. I was like, you don't know a single name of the person that runs the elections in there or whatever. They didn't know. Nobody knew. And it's in a town of 1,400 people in the middle of fuck all. Like,
I lived in a town like that. And I knew who some of the Masons were. One of them was not the Catholic priest, but the other one. It was a church right across from the Mason Hall.
The Baptist one?
Yes. And rumor is that they were all connected through tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
From that church to that Mason Hall to the cemetery right across the street. And the cemetery was weird because there was even like manholes in the middle of the cemetery. It was weird.
Also, they're also connected to the post office as well, especially in small towns like that, because everything is, and City Hall. It's all there.
And then they had this one building. There was nothing but a bunch of like 5 or 6 antique cars inside of it, but the parking lot, the barbed wire was facing in.
Interesting.
And
It's
that
kinda
always rubbed
creepy.
me wrong. No windows on the building or the Masonic temple either. Not one building or not one window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my aside. I tend to rant, so like you have more stories to tell. We can go into some more stuff. There's probably more
Well,
interesting.
here's Springfield. Here's where the first Springfield supposedly is from Springfield, Essex, from Old English. It's a Springfield family history. That's where the name Springfield came from, and I'm sure they made the first town of Springfield.
Well, you know, in Germany, I learned this by touring through Germany many years. They've got, actually, Bad means good in German, and they have lots of towns called Bad something, and basically it's a lot of Bad Springs, which I don't know what the word is in German for springs, but a lot of the elderly Germans go to these towns because there's healing notions in these springs. In other words, these are springs that are coming out of the ground, and people go there to get healing, and it works. And the German people have known this for a long time. What throws you off is it's called Bad, like it's Bad Springs in German or something. It's like Bad,
Like
Bad
body?
it's like Bad Salzuflen, Bad, you know, another German name, but it's always Bad, and usually it's related to like the spring activity in that place. And a lot of the elderly go there, and there's the medicinal aspect of having these springs. They're getting minerals out of the ground. They're getting things that maybe was a lost, it was a lost notion on us. You know, I like when I go to a spring, like in Colorado, it's because I was skiing or something, and I want to go to a hot spring and get a beer and hang out. No, this is an actual health thing over there. So like maybe Springfield has something to do with that, or you know, there's something to do with the waters that are coming up that are health based. I mean, this is just me spitballing here. You know.
Mm-hmm. Both the United States and England, popular culture says that there's this blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm just jumping through here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was that? Mm-hmm, I reckon. No, we're not going to do that one.
I think the names like Springfield and Riverside and that are descriptive names overall. Where again, the first
Yeah, it said Riverside was the one that is the most common.
right, because you're going to have it by the side of a river, and you're going to name it that. In Springfield, you're going to name a spring coming out of a field and that. So I'm going to see those names are a little bit different than Memphis or, again, some of the different names that we pull out of it. German and the Bad and that's a favorite because German has got so many false friends with English, the German language, even though from the same route, Lowry, that Bad is definitely not a bad word there. And I think my favorite is gift. Because if I were to bring you a gift in Germany, I'd be bringing you poison. So, you know,
Okay. So this is fun. This is fun, Cami. This is fun because if like again waxing biblical here, just doing this spitballing. If you want to mix up the languages, you know, from Tower to Babel, what do? You make opposite words at geographical distances.
and
In
they do
Germany,
it
federal is your local government.
Oh my God! Really?
In
That's
Germany,
gravy.
talk about that's the federal.
You get points. You get
That's
points.
so fucking a lot of gravy there, dude. It's like honestly, it's like if you're going to split up the languages, you got to fucking invert it over the course of geographical distance, right?
You do. So again, when they talk
Absolutely.
about how we hate the federal government, they're in Germany, they're looking at it, and the federal government they're like very local, like as local as you get. So again, they split out the terms, they make them sound the same, so you think you know what you're saying or you think you understand, but yeah, I guarantee if they're talking about the federal government in German, unless you know that specifically, you don't understand at all. They intentionally try to confuse us. I mean, it's
So again, going back to like the Tower of Babel, like you literally have to if you were learning English for the first time, I can't imagine how hard it would be because there's so many words that sound like something else.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you're trying to like work your way through it, and like we have words that we shorten, with an apostrophe, which would completely ignore that. And like when I go to Germany, they're like, don't even try to learn German. It is so ridiculously impossible to learn. So English being sort of the oil that gets most of us to be able to talk to each other remotely. That's what I've learned about. Like Germans are pretty good at English. Italy, holy shit, you better learn Spanish just to get close to their language because that's a tough one to get past. As far as the Far Eastern languages, I mean, that's symbol-based stuff that I can't even possibly understand. But like you could see that the design was, if you wax biblical, and I'm staying clear of like that conversation, but if you wax biblical, that's the best. That's the best position to keep people from, trying to break through the thing. Because language is what brings us together and helps us work together. And I can understand.
Would they have divided us by language at the Tower of Babel?
Right. Because you literally have to invert it from language to language so that we can't all work together. And maybe that was God's lesson that he learned. Again, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm just saying it's like, what is it that, again, someone in biblical people remind me, it was like once 3 or more, is it 2 or more or 3 or more people to get together?
3 or more.
3 or more.
2 or more gathered in my name.
And I don't know, again, I don't know this stuff, but like for me, from an outsider's perspective,
Where you at, Travis? He's in chat. He'll get us right.
Yeah, it's like you get more people together, start talking about stuff, you might, fuck up the order of things, whatever it is, right?
I don't want to stray too far. I know I was in the kitchen. The cat did something I had to go clean up. So I heard a mention, I think it might have been Nicole, talking about post offices being linked to Masonic stuff underground. Is that who said that?
Yeah, it was Nicole.
What's up, girl?
Yeah.
I live in a town of 6,000, y'all. Zack's been here. He can tell you it is small as fuck. And yet, here's our post office. Okay, cool. And if you go here, we live in a place where we don't bury the dead because they float up. We don't have basements. We have mausoleums because our dead float up to the ground, not to the water, to the ground.
So you're in Louisiana.
Yet the post office.
Louisiana? Yes, okay.
That is Franklin, Louisiana. And yet the post office has an underground area. I've gotten out and looked into these rooms. They are rooms in the ground in a place where we don't bury our dead. And I always wondered why that would be a thing at the post office. Well, if you take a tour on across these grand marbleized little facades and go around the corner, I don't know how to work this thing ever.
Double click when you double click next to the.
It's right here. I don't want to go too far. Is it right here?
That has to all have like an underground cure.
Zack, you have sunset alert, by the way.
Oh, there it is.
I have what?
Wow, where is it?
There's orange Samic sky sunset alert. You need
I know. I'm standing out there looking at it.
What
It's
is going on? They've taken the sign down there in these pictures. Are you kidding me? The Masonic Lodge is right here behind this Main Street facade here. Where is the signage? They took the signage down.
They took it down.
Dude,
I'm not surprised.
You go down that rickety-dinkety alley right there. Right there. You go down that alley and you go to the Masonic Lodge. That would be easily linked by some type of tunnel to the corner around that fucking thing. But there's no signage. That's crazy.
They'd be linked by like a catacomb, like the things that are under the churches that have the.
Wait. Type. The church.
And the
in
school.
My little rinky-dink town. God, it's making me nauseated. Yeah, here's the church in my little rinky-dink town. These are metallic crosses. That whole thing is metallic. It's connected to big lines that go down through these. There's one here.
And the line splits.
It
when do you
goes
ever
to
see
a
a grounding rod split?
Right.
Sorry, Walt.
You're good. And then if we go around the corner from, now you notice every building around, right? Same height. Oops, damn it.
Except for that one. I mean, I'm not even saying
the same area, all these buildings. We don't get lightning storms that require lightning rods, but this is the parsonage behind the Catholic Church. These aren't only lightning rods; they have the fucking metallic, mercury in them still inside the glass tubes. I'm trying to go and get a better angle. Yeah, look, and then there's these little. If you can see, right here is a tiny rod, 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 and there's another one with the ball in it. And that's all connected to shit that goes down to a big, thick power cable connected to the back of the church. Zack has seen it. He's got pictures of it.
Pictures of it, like up close pictures.
It's nuts.
So here's a rabbit hole.
And this is a little town. This is a nothing little dink town.
Look at that car in the foreground.
Yeah, you can't even believe that it would be there.
I killed it. Sorry. Oh, yeah, it did a double image.
Do you see the car in the foreground?
The double image, yeah.
Two of them, yeah.
It has two headlights. It was moving, so that car was like following the Google photo car.
Oh yeah, there was a question. Like I've been thinking about this now. Like, has anyone looked into like the red mercury thing and like why we can't get a lot of it, or do we understand how we get a hold of some of it? And because it apparently has something to do with the gravitic propulsion stuff. I've looked into it for almost 20 years now.
And we looked into it a bit early on too, when it was the first big thing. And I don't remember, maybe even Adam or John were going to try to find some they knew how to get, and it just.
Nobody knows how to make it. Nobody knows where to get it from, unless someone. Please, this is an appeal to the chat. Like, if you know how to get a hold of some red mercury, I'd like to play around with it because we're not that far away from. Like, we know how magnets work, and there's something that has to do with red mercury, and there's something that has to do with like the stabilization and how you're going to vector something in a certain way. They've clearly already done it, and like I feel like somebody out there knows. You know, I'm appealing to the chat. I'm appealing to any listeners.
Right on. Oh, I went back to chat. Andrew B saying electrically, I can explain the lightning rods on buildings and how they work.
But why do they split?
It's not that, Andrew. It's the fact that is the only building in a town of 6,600 that has lightning rods. It and the church are the only two buildings that have them still installed and connected to things that aren't just ground wires, that are wires that go into like junction boxes and shit. Is that normal?
Do you think there was predictive programming in Back to the Future? You know, the whole lightning strike and like everything else.
I'm sure. There's a church in Abbeville that's also got a huge, big metal top. I tried to do a video of it not too long ago. Well, it's been a while ago now, and it just like it had those same little tiny rods, not big, tall lightning rod on top, but little tiny rods all around the building, and it all tied into a huge cable going down the side of the church. Big, multi-wrapped, thick, metal, rubber, all kind of things go into a big main junction box that went across the street from the church to the Abbeville power station. It's not a coincidence.
So here's the elephant in the room. Here's the elephant in the room. Where's it going? Where's it going to?
Dude, it's like, why?
I mean,
churches.
You got to ask it. You got to ask it.
Underground.
I'm going to see if I can find their shit. Hang on.
That's what powers the lights in the tunnels to the Masonic Lodge. You've got to see in there.
We don't tunnel in the ground, do we? None of us. We don't go in the ground. I'm not splunk. I want to stay out in the air as much as possible. I don't want to go into tunnels. I fucking hate any of that shit. I hate it. Right? But like, since they know that about us, so like, we don't know what's down there. It's going somewhere. I mean, like,
there's a place in northern Indiana, about 10 miles south of Lake Michigan, somewhere right around there, called the Seven Dolors Shrine. And now there's a subdivision there, but I was told there was miles of tunnels back in here that a bunch of dolors or whatever they are, these monks, dug. And I've been to this place. It was right down the road from my house. You cross county line and go down like 2 miles. And there's this like mausoleum looking shrine thing, and you go into it and there's Jesus Christ with a metal box cage around his head.
Wow.
What?
Wow, okay.
It's so fucked up.
That's creepy.
So weird.
Yeah. Just so creepy and weird.
Yeah.
And then people would always tell stories about how they went down in the tunnels and saw monks down there and this and that, but I never believed any of that shit.
I mean, not only that, but you wouldn't go down there. I mean, none of us would go down there. We'd be like, fuck that shit. I'm not going down there. You know, it's like, I mean, that's like, it's not our province, I guess, you know, but maybe they're expecting us, you know, maybe they're expecting us not to do that. And that's like what it is, you know, like my mind's been pretty open in the last 10 years. And like, now I'm just like, anything's on the table. You know, I'll give you 30 minutes on any topic at this point in time. I'm like, okay, I'll give it 30 minutes. You know, it's like, fuck, man.
No, I'm going into a tunnel to like kill Grendel or whatever. You know, that's the only reason. I'm going packed to the gills. Yeah, I don't go playing in tunnels or holes or stuff like that. No.
I'd rather stay up here and like, you know, smoke them out or just fucking plug the holes. You know, just like that's kind of where that's
the woods.
I
like the woods.
I know.
Dude, weird shit happens in the woods. I don't know if you've ever spent time in Vermont, but fuck, man, that place is weird.
Shit, I broke it. What did I do?
There's interesting things that happen everywhere. Like, I mean, like she's a shapeshifter, and she does things that like I don't, but she ends up being right. She sees something, I'm like, that's silly, and then she's right. So like I have completely opened my mind to everyone's viewpoint on whatever the hell's going on. And like everybody interprets it a little bit differently. Like, you know, I was more rigid in my indoctrination. I learned the scientific method, learned a bunch of facts, you know, and I fortunately actually for this globe FE battle, I actually retained some of my spherical trig and geometry because that could have just swept out of my mind and I would never even be a part of this thing. I'd have been like, I don't understand that. I don't remember it. But some of it, I retained it somehow. You know, at the time, I didn't realize how important it was going to be. And then, like, when I finally started figuring out, you know, how you square a line, how you curve a line, you square it, I somehow remembered that after 30 years of not even thinking about it. So, like, there's these weird little seeds that are planted in all of our heads that we somehow remembered, you know, and, like, yeah, it's going to be tough for a lot of other people to talk about this stuff. But, like, we're also on the very cutting edge of this thing. We're taking all the blood right now. And, you know, I think there's a lot more content going out there now. And like, so people have some safe spaces to hang out in, even if they're not ready to like talk about like the weirdest shit. You know, it's like, you got all sorts of options, man. Like you guys are fucking super chill. And like, you know, like I don't mean to like, I smoke a little pot, whatever. You guys smoke a little pot.
Smoke pot.
I smoke a little bit.
We've been known to.
But you got something for everybody where they feel comfortable and they're like, hey, let's check out this topic. You know, and like you go into it and you got the nerd channels, you know, where you're just going in, I'm just looking for facts. These are people that are hardcore, like they've been indoctrinated in math and like, oh, if my math doesn't work, then I can't go in here, you know. And then you've got like, you know, I mean, like the one we're doing, the Sunday one we're doing is just have fun, talk about music, and we might drop some FE stuff or whatever. But it's like eventually there'll be enough of these things out there that everyone's going to have an option to talk about a lot of this stuff on any particular day and a particular time. I think, I guess that's where we're going, you know?
I think it should be that way, man, because, I mean, normal people in the crazy world out there, they're not going to always want to see the hard math and all that. Now, I know that got a lot of us where we are today, but yeah, I mean, like you said, we used to talk flat earth every show, and now it's more like, let's talk about what we're doing and how we're doing and what's it done for us and all these great people we've met. And yeah, definitely just chill and know that it's not all as crazy as they want you to think it is out there. That's the main thing they want everybody doing is running around like a chicken with their fucking head cut off. Just, bills, stress, storms, asteroids, you know, good Lord. No wonder people can't have time to figure out where they might live. Right, global warming.
They don't want us talking to each other, and I love that we're talking to each other. That's just the greatest thing. I'm just like, oh, you don't want us talking to each other? We're going to fucking figure out how to talk to each other. And we actually did it. I mean, there was a 2018 purge where they just swiped us all away after we had built up like a bunch, and they just swiped it. And we found each other again, and they're like, oh, now they're pissed. And I love pissing them off. If nothing else, I just love fucking pissing these motherfuckers off. And you know what? It's like, to me, it's like I've actually garnered a really great relationship with the Bible as a historical reference point and a partner. You know, I'm Christian friendly, Christian adjacent, call it what you will. I didn't go to church. I didn't do the dogma. I don't even know hardly anything about it. I'm like a student of that thing. It is written by men. I like to surf with the Bible, and I like to surf with the true scientists, like the cats are in this community, and like let's get our things together. Let's figure out what we can measure, what we can't, and let's use the Bible as a partner and see what's right and what's wrong. That's been the biggest thing with me. Is like I didn't have any Bible in my life. I was a fucking rock star. I mean, just put the pieces together on that. 20 years in a rock band touring, like, and then suddenly have this come upon me. You know, like I lost like a bunch of old musicians are like, yo, Flat Earth got you. And I was like, it didn't get me. I'm just like, you know, just looking at this shit, you know, because I have all the spare time to do it, you know. And now like I have like this group of friends that I've developed over the last 10 years, like endlessly more interesting and endlessly more exciting to be around. And like I get gravy every day. Like somebody's talking to me, I'm like, holy shit, I didn't think about that. You know, and like I'm cussing like a pirate, and it's like a pure, like really good Christian over here. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. He's like accepting me. You know, I'm like, shit, man. I'm like trying to do better.
The other awesome thing about this community too, man, is the amount of creative fucking people. It's not just the scientific brainiacs like Zack and Whitsitt and like et cetera there, but like, dude, you and like I play guitar and fuck around with music and shit. You know, I mean the creativity of the people, like the songs, fucking Chief Crow, and oh yeah, man, it's nuts. I have to know. So what was your path of guitar? Because I know not only were you watching those NASA video every launch, you were also there with the guitar for the practicing musician. You might have had a Hot Licks tape you got from the library, maybe the video or something. I know that's where I used to have to find mine.
You talking to me?
Hot Licks, where the guitarist like would literally show you how to like play. Like Brian May had one where he would show you how to play all his riffs from his stuff. Star Licks. It was an awesome little VHS series.
Yeah, I remember it. You talking to me or Zack?
Oh, dude. You. Yeah. I know guitar. I know Zach's guitar journey. I don't know your guitar journey.
My dad was a guitar player, and my aunt was a concert pianist, and I was around guitar since I was 2. So like it was always there. So I learned. There, right. I was playing Beatles at 11. And then I learned, like, I started out just in cover bands because I didn't think I was going to actually be writing my own stuff until I, you know, escaped, you know, the shit. But yeah, no, I played since I think I started I started listening, and my dad played at 11, and I started playing when I was 14, and then never stopped. You know, it carried through my biology degree. I was still playing in bands. I mean, I almost lost I actually played college football, if you can believe that. I was like 210 pounds and like ran like a 4.40.
That is not one I would have expected to hear.
Yeah, that happened. But I almost lost.
You were a strong safety.
No, I was a fullback. Believe that or not.
Wow.
No, I'm 165 pounds, just like normal. You know, I'm like my normal high school weight.
Mike Allstott.
No, what happened was I was a super fast white guy that wasn't good enough to play Division I football. And then I also played in bands at night, and I missed a couple practices, almost lost my scholarship. And then I made the point to just finish the degree, learn the scientific method, and then I got the fuck out of there as quick as I could because I could see that, you know, I could see that. And so I took the band. I played music in Kansas City, then went to New York, and I toured for years and years and years after that. And like this whole thing came on 9 years ago. 10 years ago, I was tiptoeing. 9 years ago, I was hiding it from people, and 8 years ago, I was out of the closet. And now it's just part of my life. It's just what it is. It's like I still play in bands. I got 3 different bands I play in right now. I'm gonna go down and play with Tyler from Tedeschi Trucks and Crumb and Eddie Booz. We're gonna start a new band in December. We're at least gonna record a record. I don't know where it's gonna go, but we're gonna do that in December. And like I have 2 other bands that I do shows up here. But like other than music, Flat Earth is my life. You know, I got this one over here. And, you know, obviously my family when I get a chance to go back and see them, but that's just what it is. Like Flat Earth is it. This is it. This is like, other than your spiritual journey you take on your own, this is it. That's where I'm at. That was a rant again. You guys got to stop me from ranting.
No, it wasn't, dude. It was what I wanted to hear about. Like I said, dude, you sound so similar. Like I literally went like to college, started out for music because my aunt went there and got her degree. And so I said, yeah, why not? I could teach if nothing else. I love to play.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's a weird
Computers
journey.
didn't work out because of the math, and so the art department started calling, and yet my love of biology from high school also started calling. So when they finally kicked me out from my art, I was majoring in biology as well. I was looking at maybe either genetic chemistry, because playing with that shit with Professor Chestnut broke my brain. When I found out Crick allegedly and your boy were on acid when they discovered the helix, I'm like, oh, well, let's go drop and do some shit, dude, So, yeah.
Well, there wasn't much to do in that. Like, cause I was in genetic, I was in the genetic, my genetics part was the biggest part of the whole thing.
That was my problem. Nothing I wanted to do would have made me any money. It would have been pure
how many
research,
flies,
praying for grants.
How many flies did you deep six? How many?
Oh,
and how many gels did you line up?
Oh, fuck
right?
it, dude. The whole I loved all that. Like I said,
Yeah,
that's what I was into. But unfortunately, my art was a little risque for the Christian liberal arts college I attended.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go in it. There's nowhere to go in it. You have to go in and like resign yourself to their, we're going to do research for the next 25 years. And I'm like, I already understand it. I get how you lay out your fucking gel to get the DNA, thing and everything else. And they became a cult. And I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not going to spend 20 years dipping flies into a gel and do the electrogel to get the fucking DNA shit. I wasn't going to do it anymore. And I was like, this is dumb. And maybe whatever. They took something out of it, but like, you got to stop me, man. You got to stop me.
No, but you took the scientific method, and that's what's important. And that was the good thing for me, too. Luckily, I had that era of dudes, well, from high school as well, like Boykin. He was all about the method. I mean, we repeated shit so many times. And then Dr. Chestnut as well. He was like, he's the guy handed me the book that was doubting evolution and all this. Give me one second.
Yeah. Anyway, see, that's why you guys can't have me on very often, because I just fucking, you're my therapy.
Well, here's a rant for you. I'd be curious about, when you get a chance, I'd be interested to see some of these links that you have for Red Mercury.
We can't find them. We can't find where to get it. Does anyone know where to get it? Because I'd like to know.
No, just things you've seen, things you know about it. Because we kind of went down that rabbit hole too on the show, and
something that convinced you that it's even a real thing.
Okay, so what I know about it is I know there's regular mercury. I know that red mercury, all the links that I've seen out there have this sort of fantastical sort of things. There's like a guy that shines the red mercury in a mirror and you can't see it. I can find that. There's a property allegedly. That's why they, everything that's important. That's why I'm like, oh God, this is going to be another rant. I'm sorry, guys. It's like, why did they ever want us to stop smoking? I get it. It's like makes you stink, and you're like, maybe you get like, well, why did they care? Why did they care about like you stop smoking? I never got that. It was like,
they want to kill us, but yet they sit there and tell us smoking is bad for you.
Right?
They'll kill you.
Exactly. So you go on to these other, you take the ladder up, right? You're like, everything that you can't, that you're not supposed to get, like mercury, makes you crazy. Like this is down the rabbit hole, right? Like Alice in Wonderland. The whole thing about mercury was they used to use mercury in hat rings.
The glue
that would make people crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay, think about that for a second. To me, just this is spitballing again, but they're telling you that mercury is dangerous and that you have guys pushing their finger through mercury is not making them crazy, right? Now, putting mercury in your blood, that might be a different story, but you have skin around you, you don't, these are very hot topics. Well, red mercury seems to be like the second level of that thing where you spin that fucker around a magnet. This is as far as I've gotten. And this is how you, again, I'm spitballing like a motherfucker here, but this is as far as I've looked. If you're talking about vectoring and countering an electrostatic field, you've got to have some sort of way to control it, and you've got to have a spinning thing. Cami, come on! I see you laughing. Tell me, what do you think about this? I need to know.
Why red mercury versus regular?
I'm spitballing like a motherfucker. I don't know anything about this, and I know Cami's laughing. So, tell me about it. What do you got?
I'm laughing at the dog.
Never mind. I thought you were laughing at me. I was like,
the vortex and in the red mercury, I am kind of looking, but my brain, it's a Friday night, and I had a brain breaker today.
Okay, let's make it fun from here on out. We can tackle. You know what? On the tinfoil sombrero on Sunday, we'll tackle red mercury in the funniest way we can, because like I'm at my cognitive edge when we're talking about spinning mercury around an edge to vector something anti-gravitically through the sky against an electrostatic position. I don't know how to do that.
And you've got video editing experience.
I don't have the engineering. Like
I have not looked into this at all. This is like still, I've kind of like glanced at it, but I've never gone down the rabbit hole.
I don't believe it's
this is the rabbit hole of transportation. It's the rabbit hole of transportation. In other words,
you think I should look into that?
If you can do what's an antigraph generator, what's it called? Whatever the generator is. So like what you're doing is basically you're like doing what a magnet does when it pushes away from north to north, except you're doing it in all directions so that you can, I don't know, fly up above the road, and then you can also vector in a certain direction, and you need some sort of way to vector your position.
To control the para along with the dia. The dia is connected up and down, so you need to be able to tap into controlling your para.
Yeah. And you have to be able to go up, and so then you also have to have some sort of metal that can transfer this shit in real time around itself, and then you have some sort of computer that communicates with it so that you can and go a certain direction and then fucking fly.
Okay, so your ferro is controlling your sticky. Your ferro or your metal part of it is controlling like your sticky action, and again what you're going for. But you're using your ferro. You're using your ferro part to control by doing the vortex. It sounds like by spinning your vortex, you're taking your ferro portion and controlling your para and your dia. Which you can
affect it. You can affect it by doing this with some sort of way, and you've got a spinning around, and so you're affecting magnetically in all sorts of directions. I don't know how to. I'm spitballing here, but that's what it looks like. But and then you're doing this.
Would work it now. Follow me, Lowry. Your spitballing is working it. Just simplify your magnetic field, right? Simplify your magnetic field. Your ferro is your metallic action or your sticky, and that you're talking about spinning your metal. You're talking about using that action. So you're talking about using one of your magnetic properties.
It's equalizing the field. It's equalizing as it's spinning fast.
Overrider, exactly, to spin that vortex. And by spinning that vortex, by using a component of the field to spin the vortex, it sounds like you're controlling your two other angles. Your dia is controlling your up and down vector. Your para is doing your thing. So in other words, you're dual acting with, you can actually, by vortexing your ferro portion of it, you're equalizing and you're controlling your para and your dia portions of your field. And by vortexing it, again, so what red mercury would be the thing that they're saying is the vortex needed to create that action.
Or regular mercury. I just think that the ability that we can't get it. We can't get mercury. You can break it out of a thermometer or whatever. But you're like red mercury. It seems though, I don't know if somebody want to figure out how to get like some of that, but like whatever reason.
I don't think it's, again, I think it's going to be a hidden knowledge or a thing on it. But what you're saying does, I mean, you can make the ties to it, make it make sense.
So
yeah, that's as far as I can
the red mercury being tied to the red goggles. Is that correct, Josh?
No, that's a dye. It was a different red dye that they'd used for those goggles.
Cyanide.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Okay, I'm confused. Sorry. I was doing a lot of back stuff to throw it.
I think it's a red herring.
Lowry, so you guys can look at these on your show Sunday, right?
Yes.
Y'all doing the show Sunday?
Yeah, we're going to do.
If you look in the chat, if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you should see chat as a clickable button, and it'll bring up a little side chat over here where I've been dropping things like My Breakfast with Blassie, and there's a few things about mercury arc rectifiers, which were used up until about the 60s. And some of them have a very weird swirly thing going on inside them too. I started thinking about that when you were talking about the red mercury. So, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. They do pretty much explain a lot of them, and like that last one especially I dropped, it has some really good like diagrams and shit. So just something to throw at you for the show.
I got you. So Campton Stream Museum, Dury Hill Elevator, Mercury Arc, and then Mercury Arc rectifiers. Yeah. So I've seen the Dury Hill elevator thing, which is like I've been trying to figure out like how they vector this thing. I mean, everyone knows you can put a north end to a north end, but you need a bunch of north ends up in the sky in order to fly through it so that you can vector to wherever you're going. So how are you vectoring without say a track, like a train track, how are you vectoring anywhere free without any of that stuff? You'd have to have some sort of notion against the natural electrostatic nature of the thing you're flying through, ether, call it whatever you want, and that's what I thought the spinning, or at least the triangle things that they do, or like whatever. It's just like, how do they vector? Like you can definitely send yourself off in a fucking any speed you want with a long enough magnetic track, but like how do you freely do that independently against the natural ether unless you have some sort of like medium spinning around or doing something that's interacting with the entire medium around you, so that you could say, I don't know, turn right, turn left, go forward, not crash into the ground. And that's where my head is on this thing. It's so weird, right? This is the weirdest conversation I've ever had.
Well, now that you've done some video editing, I want you to go back and watch some of those Red Mercury videos and pay attention to the mirrors and the things that they use to show you how miraculous Red Mercury is. And
do you think it's bullshit?
Yep.
I think it's complete bullshit.
One of those videos absolutely is. Josh definitely decoded that video.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
He bumped that video pretty well. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's all hokum. A lot of people make a lot of things happen for clicks. But I had looked pretty deep into it too, and unfortunately, Josh breaking that video for us kind of made me start looking into it. But
yeah, I'm down. I'm down to check it out.
I do have a few links, absolutely, that I had back in the day. I'm trying to find them.
So there you go. Guys, I've ranted too much. I'm gonna pop off. I love you guys so much. You guys are
hey man, thank you so much for
favorite people in the world,
making the show, dude. Because otherwise, it would have just been the same shit we do 3 or 4 times a week.
Right.
No, you guys are the most interesting people. Interesting people in the world, and you'll never get rid of me. So like, tough shit.
Well, look, the door never shut. So just let us know when you want to pop in on the chat, and we'll pop you up, man, for sure.
You got it.
Definitely
love you guys.
Take care. Love you, Nicole.
We'll see you guys at Flatover.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Probably
Cheers.
Sunday. Maybe
I'll see you Sunday night. Yeah,
Sunday night.
There you go.
Cheers.
And Larry, I'll see if I can look into more, but on the things. I haven't looked into the red Mercury part of it, but I do know that vortexing and spinning things, you definitely get your effect of affecting things, with the spin. So again, it'd be fun to put things in, try things out in that. But you're right, if it's something you can't get, it's interesting. What you got there, Zach?
This is a lithium drift. A lithium drifted silicon detector. Is this what I want to be looking up?
Oh, is this what we're going to for being brain dead? And excellent.
Is that what anybody wants to look up? For the love of Pete.
Oh, yeah, I was just looking at those things we were talking about, the Mercury whatevers. And this is something this guy says is his greatest invention, and he invented like a lot of shit that has to do with electricity. And I just wanted to see what these things are. In nuclear spectroscopy. So,
I've known 1 or 2 people in my life that were lithium drifted.
Lithium is crazy shit. Yeah, lithium. Isn't that what they used to give out in the mental institutions?
Yes.
Lithium. Yeah. My cousin got a hold of one of those, and I tried to snort some of it. Worst fucking idea ever. My nose burned for like 15 minutes. It was just horrible. I was young and dumb.
Nope, I'm right there with you. There's a science behind it, the biology behind it. The membranes, the capillaries are all right there. It's going to hit that stream. You're not going to waste it. It's all going to be wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Under the right circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm done with this. Yeah, Robert N. Hall. I'm going to look into this guy a little bit more. Pioneer in semiconductors. 1965, but those things are way older than. Oh, this is his. I don't even know what I was reading. Turn here. I didn't go that far down. Oh, right here, Robert N. Hall. The inventor of semiconductor laser. Oh. Electric meter. See, this is what I was. I wanted to know what this was, an ammeter. AMM. But we don't need to do this. We don't need to do live research. It gets kind of boring. But yeah, the mercury arc rectifiers. So they used to turn an AC into a DC. Of course, somebody's. Oh, that's Cami. Yeah, they're shooting off all the stuff.
Yeah, sorry, my thing going. That's why my dog was snuggling up to Zack, so trying to crawl in his lap as they're still shooting off fireworks here.
Yeah, he's just a little guy when it comes to those big booms.
I reckon.
You reckon?
Well, two things. I've been wanting that for a minute,
I reckon.
of course. But
I reckon.
what do you call someone that might use that term a lot?
I reckon. I reckon. I reckon.
Reckon?
I reckon.
The Reckoner. Fucking A.
I reckon.
I like the way he talked.
He liked the way I talk, and I like the way he talks.
Some call it a snake blade. I call it a Kaiser blade.
It's called the Kaiser blade.
Has anyone? I mean, y'all seen the original short video that preceded Sling Blade?
I don't think so.
It's him talking to two girls like in the movie, you know, but it's just that it's crazy. And I'll see it. It's probably somewhere, I'm sure.
Sarah G in chat got it. She knew what it was.
I reckon.
Which is actually a phrase I use a lot. To the point that my son and my wife use that term.
We'll knock off now and take the next 2 days off. How's that?
Nope, not that one.
I reckon.
That one.
Yabba dabba doo.
I haven't played that in a couple of weeks. I don't think I played that at all last week either.
I don't think so. We haven't heard from Steven in a while either. Somebody, I think it was on Jaren's show earlier, or maybe yesterday. He was asking about, it had to be yesterday, the funniest noise you could hear right now. People were putting their ideas in chat, and I put Stephen Hawking singing karaoke. Whoa, dude, Steven, I was just kidding, man. All right? I know there's funnier noises.
You dumb bastard.
Minin is not happy with the situation going on outside.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Okay, these groups are very, very serious. He tried actually last night to sleep, I think, inside my stomach. I mean, I think he did try to crawl his way buried and trying to dig a hole and getting under there. But yeah, not a big fan of the fireworks at all. He has squeaky toys. He has lots of things, but it just is not. It's worrisome. Very worrisome. Not liking the booms. And Zach, this is good because he wanted to be with me, but it's even louder out here. So that was like, girl.
Yeah, he's just chilling now. His heart's.
I dropped the short in the chat and in the call chat. Zack. Yeah, if you never saw it, watch it, man. It's really great. Like he was, yeah. He was next level on this as well.
Did you guys check out that link I sent you in the text earlier this afternoon?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
Shooting guns to the music.
Yep. That shit had me rolling.
Yeah, that was funny. Mm-hmm.
Proven.
I think I could watch just about anybody shoot guns. Doesn't even, you know, I don't want to see him shooting, you know. I don't know. I don't like watching animals get shot. Not my favorite thing. Unless it's with the camera. But yeah. Like just watching people shoot targets, stuff like that, clay pigeons.
There's some of those channels that do nuts shit, like how many balloons does it take to stop a bullet or whatever, you know. Paul would turn those on when I'd be there, and I'd watch some of them. It'd be fun for a few minutes, but after a while, it's like, okay.
Or the super slow motion through the gel.
Yeah, those are crazy as well. Some of that ballistic gel shit is nuts.
For you.
You flat earthers are demented.
You flat earthers are demented.
For you.
I will say that does not sound like one legit clip. It sounds like somebody spliced some shit together.
Yeah,
you flat earthers are demented.
For you.
For you.
Roll off some of those lows.
For you.
That's better. Turn it up a touch. Maybe boost up the mids. Try that.
For you.
That'll do.
Whoa, belly's up and open, Ma. He's content now.
There are people out there that would say that it is a proven.
Stop.
It is a privilege. Minion says that it is a privilege to pick up his poop and throw it in the receptacle when you're at the park.
I suppose that's true. It's my right just to lay this log wherever the F I please, but it's a privilege to have my human come along and pick up my log afterwards and throw it away for me. That is a privilege.
Oh, not for him. It's a privilege for you to get to pick it up. He allowed it. Because usually, I mean, it's very important where they put these things. You know? I mean, he has to sit and think about it, and he'll go look at a spot and, like, attempt, and then I'm like, nope, hold on. And then
almost, but nope.
Over there. Oh, there it is. Right there's the spot right now. Oh, yeah. So there's meaning to it. And to let you just go pick it up and put it somewhere else, that's... Yeah.
Hey, Nemo in chat just mentioned that his wife just watched the video of a jet engine strapped to a merry-go-round, and we've all seen motorcycles strapped to merry-go-rounds and different things like that. I do want to say at Flattoberfest, they have one of those old-fashioned merry-go-rounds. They've Would
We
they
need to
really
put like caution tape around that thing.
All
caution
they
tape
need's a
really
jet engine.
if we want to test some rim velocity, after a few beers, we have the playground equipment to do so at Flattoberfest. So yeah, it cracked me up at state. They do have a merry-go-round, one of those old-fashioned playground ones where you hold on to the edges and that. I thought it was meant. It was.
You mean the kind where you can ride a motorcycle up next to it and just lay the motorcycle over and then rev that motorcycle up and get that merry-go-round going pretty fast? You don't need a jet engine?
That's correct. Yeah, I can't imagine needing a jet engine. Yeah. I mean, I've had them going. The last time I was on one, where were we? We went somewhere, I think, up with John, up at a lookout point. We stopped and went around on a merry-go-round, and we were on it not very long. And oh my goodness, not like kids, not like kids. And it's like that was not good. Still, it was a great day and a good. That was when we went on that like lookout point.
Minion. Can't get comfortable now. He's hearing lots of booms. I don't hear him at all. Only through
yeah,
your mic.
Jump through me, yeah.
Cicadas are out. They're not too loud here this year, though.
These are we did not get any of the red cicadas. I think Karen had one at her property, only one. We saw them around the high-pitched one. We just got the normal, regular annual cicadas that not that bad this year, nothing special at all. You can hear them in the background. I kind of like them.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you guys say? Ready?
I think so.
Yeah, we could. I got to get up early in the morning. We got one more day at the house over there. So, Lowry, thank you so much, man. Truly, and Nicole, y'all.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Anytime, truly, anytime, man.
Love the rants.
Where am I going?
People racing on the highway. Slow down, you young whippersnappers.
All right, I guess we can get out of here.
Love y'all.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
I reckon.
Love y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you back here next Friday night. Probably. For more Have No Sphere. Right here on the Iron Realm Media YouTube channel. Make sure you check us out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over there on freeworld.fm for the Ironworks. Although we do kick off a little bit early, going at 4 a.m. Central Time. But we got a crew there in chat, so make sure you head on over. Otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Be good. Be well. Do good. Do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.